Finish Draymond. Oh my goodness! Did you see the tattoo on that dude's head?
Yeah, was that the guy sitting next to Young Gravy?
Yeah, Young who? Who? What was the guy's name?
There's a musician
named what?
Young Gravy.
Gravy, as in like the stuff you pour on your turkey on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Young Gravy?
Yeah, look him up. Yeah, he was a white guy with curly hair.
Rappers. Hold on.
Yeah, look it up. Google it.
Let's just stop for a second. Let's just take we need a timeout. Have rappers run out of good names that we're down to the point now where there's a rapper named Young Gravy?
The Cash In, weeknights at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on Sports Map Radio.
First Name Sports with Greg Frank.
I don't believe that the lottery is rigged. I like to trust that the integrity of something as important as who drafts number one overall in your league is held up. But what is the problem with just showing the whole thing on national TV? This is why people say draft lotteries are rigged. Shut them up by saying, no, it's not. You can watch this. What is the harm of televising the actual lottery?
First Name Sports, weekday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern.
Just saying it with Cole Thompson.
When you look at Gatorade, Powerade, and Kool-Aid, great drinks, absolutely phenomenal drinks for you to have in life. Do you list them off by color or do you list them off by flavor? It's not flavor. I don't know where the society came from to where blue raspberry is a flavor. No, it's blue. It's just blue. Oh, I love that Glacier Freeze Gatorade. No, it's light blue Gatorade. That's all it is. Oh, that lemon lime power, it's yellow. It is yellow. I don't know why we've gone down the rabbit hole of trying to come up with flavors. They're colors. Your go-to Kool-Aid, mine personally, red. It's not cherry, it's not fruit punch, it's red. I'm sorry, I don't know where people finally came up with this notion of, oh, Powerade has flavors or Gatorade has flavors. They have colors. You pick your color and you stick with it for the rest of your life.
Just saying it. Weekdays from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Sports Kings with Mean Gene.
I got an email yesterday, and they said, Mean Gene, we love your show. Sports Kings is all good, but you guys are not talking hockey, okay? And I replied back, okay, well, I don't know if you realize or not, but we are black. And we don't know a lot about hockey, okay? I'm sorry. We're trying our best. We get you some scores, but I'll be damned if we're going to sit up here and talk about something we don't know about.
Sports Kings, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 Eastern.
This is Brett Musburger, and you've got the best of both worlds. VSiN programming on the Sports Map Radio Network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM Rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM Rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like bonus bets and bet insurance tokens. And if you're planning a trip to Vegas, you can convert those points into MGM Rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and more at over 20 resort properties located on the Strip. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action. Eligibility restrictions apply. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Visit BetMGM for terms. Got to be 21. New and existing customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued at non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem. 1-800-GAMBLER is the number.
I'm looking forward to what they got planned for the next 4 hours of Live Bet Saturday because Ben Wilson, Benny of the Bets, just walked in here dressed to the nines, head to toe. Like, we got to get a video monitor up so that the camera can get the full shot, man.
I like the shoes. I'm a fan of shoes that color.
Exactly. He's matching the belt. I thought he had a hot date later.
Step in front of the camera. Step in front of the camera.
Yeah,
go ahead.
There you go. Yeah, just walk right in front. That's fine.
Front, man. We're doing TV here. Look at there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now okay. Well, now you ruined it with the barbecue lace.
What do you mean ruined it? Those are the best flavor of lace.
He ruined the shot, though. Come on. He's supposed to be a classy guy. You can't be eating barbecue chips.
Better calm down.
Viper Rocks. There you go.
Brian Ortega's freaking out right now. Like, this has never happened before in any show ever. Like, oh, my God. No, it's okay. It's all right. By the way, Ben, quiet, full of rage. Burke and I, the Chicken Hawks.
Just out of the Chicken Hawks?
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds right.
First off, to reiterate for our audience, we've drafted players in the Vegas Golden Knights and Florida Panthers Game 1 Stanley Cup final matchup. Anytime goal scorer.
Anytime goal scorer.
Yep,
yeah.
Anytime goal scorer. And it adds
passion.
each goal.
Yes.
Okay, so with that, the teams are Brian Ortega.
All right, so JVT's team is
The Chicken Hawks.
the Chicken Hawks.
Thank you.
Which is JVT and Danny Burke. Jonathan Marchessault.
Marsha Show, okay.
Thank you. Matthew Kachuk.
Okay.
Carter.
Verhage.
Yep. William Carlson.
Yep. Got that one.
And Sam Reinhart.
Yes, there you go.
And that is JVT.
Well,
Kelly and
last
Ben's
second,
team.
last second name change, Brian.
Okay.
We're not going to be we're not the Viper Hawks anymore. We're the Windhawks.
Windhawk of the Vegas Golden Knights.
No, that's wrong.
Nope.
It's immediately wrong, isn't it? Yeah, Jack Eichel.
Sorry, Jack Eichel. I apologize. I flipped those.
It's going really well.
Jack Eichel. Mark Stone.
Good thing you said it, though, because Ortega was going to pronounce it Eichel.
Yep. Alexander
Barkov.
Barkov, thank you. Sam Bennett.
That's like one of the easier ones.
And Riley Smith.
You got it. You got it. Those 5.
Play-by-play master Ben Wilson is seething right now. He's like, come on, that's like the easiest one out there.
And his fancy shoes.
Really good.
Fancy belt. Why is he
All right,
so
cool.
angry?
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. You see? It's a good bit, right? It's really good.
Storming out of the
Right,
studio.
right now he's going. There's like a little, for those who don't know, there's like a little soundproof area between 2 doors. I'm sure Ben's going in there like scream like at the top of his
You mean
lungs.
Brady Cannon's office?
Yeah. We're allowed to say that name? RIP. He's not gone. He's just not with the network anymore. All right, so with that, baseball.
Please stand by for a special presentation of Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
And we welcome you to Garfield Stadium here in Lakewood, Ohio. With Western Reserve Radio, the iMedia1 Network is proud to bring to you Cleveland Cobras football here again on the iMedia1 Network. Network 2 this year. We have also Western Reserve Radio 2 and City View Sportscast. You can game on any one of those, as well as Facebook at Western Reserve Radio. Go to the Cleveland Cobras Facebook page. You can also listen to it. Jim Craven with you, along with the coach, Bob Kessler. Jared Vinecourt joining us, making his transition from the ice to the gridiron. Dave Ferris pushing all the buttons, keeping us on the air as we get ready for week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. Here are the Cobras hosting the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders out of the Youngstown area. This will be the second game of the season for both teams. The Cleveland Cobras took on the Leviathan 2 weeks ago in Canton. They get the 20-3 win. However, that win not coming easily. They go scoreless for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter action, Cobras take over, and they get, again, the 20-3 win. For the Rough Riders, they took the loss to the Outlaws last week by a score of 26-6. And for the Cobras, again, coming off a 4-5 season in 2022, their season ended with a playoff loss to the Ohio Bears here in Lakewood. Again, with the West Virginia Leviathan, a little bit of a test there. But unofficially, their stats look like this. Dave Thompson, the quarterback for the Cobras, was not available 2 weeks ago. They went with Dion Redcarter and T.J. Johnson. They combined to go 9 of 21 for 123 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. On the ground for the Cobras, it would be T.J. Johnson leading the rushing, 6 carries, 52 yards. Team-wise, they would go 19 carries for 79 yards and 1 touchdown. In the receiving department, it was Antonio Boyd. He'd have 3 catches for 56 yards. He would have the sole touchdown through the air total. Again, 9 for 123. Averaged about 13.7 yards per completion. So that was an uplook for the Cobras. Defensively, Bobby Eccles, he gets 2 sacks. And then they get a sack fest from everybody. Devere Glenn, Chris Frazier, Jeremiah Grayson, Matt Federer, and Jacoby Brown all at a sack. Eric Bankhead picked off 1 and went 40 yards for the Cobra touchdown. Coach, week 1, you expect mistakes. You expect people to be a little bit nervous. You got to work through that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the timing now. You know, you can only do so much at practice. So your timing now is, you know, you're playing a real game. It's a preview, but you're still playing a real game, and you're trying to get your timings down with your blocking, your passing. Same way with defense. Same exact thing. You're trying to get your time, your feel for your people. And I think that when I was there and I saw the team that they played, they looked like a very young football team. But again, you have to produce. So maybe the Cobras, it took them a while to get going, but then in the fourth quarter, latter part of the game, they really started connecting and they were starting to put things together.
Only 4 starters returning on offense for Cleveland, 3 on defense. Jared, having been on a run with the 2023 Clark Cup champions, and we love to say that, the Youngstown Phantoms.
Absolutely.
Every year we see a turnover in rosters. It takes time to really kind of gel. We saw that at the beginning of the Phantoms year, and that's something we're going to see probably with the Cobras and most of the teams that are coming up here in 2023.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. The Cobras are very young, very skilled football team, and they're going to have to learn to gel and have great chemistry on the football field to get back where they were a year ago in the playoffs.
Again, Cobras coming in at 1-0, Rough Riders at 0-1. Looks like we might start a couple minutes early here, so we'll take a look at the starters for the Cleveland Cobras. We did not get starters for the Rough Riders, so we do apologize for that. But offensively, for the Cobras, up front, it's going to be Brandon Antall, Kayshawn Jones, Antoine Peterson, Lamorris Dillard, and E.J. Bibbs for the Cobras. Keep an eye on E.J. Bibbs. He is going to be a big part of that offensive line. The wide receiving core is going to be Eddie Bing Edwards, Antonio Boyd, D'Angelo Thompson, and Daryl Golson. The tight end will be Abe Taylor. The running back will be the Cobra veteran, Emmett Calhoun. And the quarterback will be the veteran, Dave Slap Thompson. He missed the preview game in Canton. However, he is here tonight and ready to go. Defensively, for the Cobras, it'll be Andy Cote and Jeremiah Grayson at the defensive tackles, Robert Littlejohn and DeVere Glenn at the ends. DeVere Glenn making his way from Inglewood, California, the former Duck, now a Cleveland Cobra. The linebackers will be Dontrell Nalling, Marquise Hodges, Jacoby Brown, and Brandon Fleming. The corners will be Kev Fortson and Cam McCauley, and the strong safety will be Terrell Lively as we get ready to get this one started here in Lakewood. Cobras will be going left to right on your dial or your device, and they're going to be in the all black with the neon green numbers and the black helmets. The Rough Riders will be in all white with the black helmets. As we get the signal for play, Rough Riders now kicking off. Cobras will receive. That ball go down to the 20-yard line. It'll be picked up and brought to the near side. Again, moving left to right. Cobras out past the 35, 40, 45, 50, and into Rough Rider territory. And that's going to be a huge return by Willie James, the wide receiver. And the Cobras will take over in great field position, Coach.
Outstanding job. I tell you what, they set the wall to the inside. He got to the outside, and he had a nice wall going there, and then it was just the last person was able to just bump him outside. So that was an outstanding job by their special teams.
Quick starts is what they're looking for, Jared, and that's really the way you do it.
Yeah, they're in great field position and great on their first drive of the game and looking to score here early, keep their gas on the offensive pedal.
Cobras, again, are only returning 4 starters on offense, 3 on defense. Dave Thompson working in the offseason. He'll move a little bit more tonight. He got into some better shape over the offseason. Now it will be a 4 wide receiver set for the Cobras. Thompson will have Calhoun to his right. Eddie Johnson will be the receiver to the near side. Be a tight receiver to the right side, almost a wing. That'll be D'Angelo Thompson. Hand off to Calhoun, trying to work to the outside. He'll cut back in. He'll be wrapped up after about a half a yard gain. They're not even going to give him that much, so it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Cobras.
Little pit bat as far as running the ball. He's got to make a choice. I think he could have made it to the outside if he'd have kept going outside. His blocker was there. He was plussing him out, but that's okay because he had him off balance, but he tried cutting in and linebacker scraped.
And that's when the Cobras are going to have to work on offensively tonight against the Rough Riders. As we stated earlier, only 79 rushing yards in their preview game, looking to get the ball moving on the ground here.
Thompson now again in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set to be Antonio Boyd to the far side. 2nd and 10 now from the 43-yard line. Thompson with the long pass downfield. He had D'Angelo Thompson wide open, overthrew him, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 9.5 for the Cobras.
Well, what happened on that one, the corner was there, and I think he was expecting the safety to come over and give him a little help, so he kind of bailed off on it, and he had him by 5 yards. He just overthrew. Great pattern, but just didn't get it done.
So we'll just call it 3rd and 10 from the 43-yard line. Cooler up here than it was in Youngstown when we left. 91 degrees when we got up there, 72 when we pulled into the parking lot here. A little bit of a breeze. Shouldn't affect the game much, but definitely a temperature change here. As we were kind of worried they were wearing all black tonight here for the meaning the Cobras. As Thompson now again in the shotgun, 4 wide receiver set. It'll be now Boyd to the receiver to the near side. Thompson with the strong count. He's going to get the marker. He was looking again downfield. But it's going to be an encroachment on the Rough Riders, so that's going to give the Cobras 5, and it's going to help a little bit. It's going to open up the playbook.
I'm looking right straight down the line, and their left tackle, Dillard, he needs to, I believe that's who it is, he needs to move up. I think that was the number on that left side. He's lining way back into the backfield, and he's going to have to make that adjustment. The line coach has got to have him move up, or they're going to get him for in the backfield.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the Rough Riders, number 80, George Freeman, committed that encroachment there.
3rd and 5 now for the Cobras. Be at the 38-yard line. 13-18 left here, first quarter, just underway here in Lakewood. Thompson now waiting for the snap. Going to be Golson, the receiver to the near side. 3-step drop. He's going to fire out to the right side. And that pass was intended for Antonio Boyd, but couldn't connect on the slant pattern.
Looked like we had a corner blitz on that, so that was an outstanding job. It's really hard to read their numbers on there, but I'm trying to get that number on him.
Yeah, the Rough Riders haven't made it easy on us. I'll tell you, they're not the broadcast-friendly jerseys we'd hope for.
I believe, Bob and Jim, that was number 80, George Freeman again with the pressure and able to force the incompletion there to force 4th down.
So 4th and 5 now from the 38-yard line. Cleveland in a huddle. Doesn't look like they're going to go for the punt. 12:41 on a running clock. Cobras 1-0 on the season. This will be their first league game in Tri-Point. Whole host of games tonight, as all 16 teams will be in action. The Tri-Point expanding from 8 teams to 6 teams this year. Trips to the far side now, as Thompson will be in the backfield by himself. Empty set, 2 receivers to the near side. You have Golson. We're going to have some movement. It's going to be it's going to be a false start against Cleveland. So the officials giveth 5 and taketh away 5.
Yes, what they were doing. And Cobras, when they lined up empty, that's what he was trying to do, is trying to draw them offside. And it just didn't work. Unfortunately, the offense
did work.
did it.
It just worked the other way.
Other way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the guard or the center, Antonio Peterson, with the false start, but either way, the Cobras are backed up 5.
Boyd and Golson will be the receivers to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. Thompson in the empty backfield, and he's going to pooch punt it straight up. Hang time is good. It's going to take a Cobras bounce to the 26-yard line, make that to 27. It's going to be picked up by a Rough Rider. The whistle hasn't blown down. They're trying to get some bodies down there. Rough Riders now into Cobra territory. It'll be brought down at the 39-yard line. So lesson learned by the Cobras. Stay on that ball and cover it.
I'll tell you what, though. He would come to my sidelines. We'd have a little fireside chat because that was dangerous. Absolutely dangerous.
Well, if you're the underdog, you take some chances, right, Jared?
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus Brown there for the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders with the return. And you got to be aware, no one signaled a fair catch there on the punt, and the Rough Riders took advantage.
That was D'Angelo Thompson that ended up bringing him down, and he had 4 guys on him, and somehow he got through there to make the tackle. So it's an outstanding job by that young man.
Todd Glover, I'm sure, probably happy with the result, not happy with the decision, though,
yeah,
for the Rough Riders, as they'll have the ball now 1st and 10 at the Cobra 40-yard line. 11:34 left here first quarter on Western Reserve Radio on the iMedia1 network. You can catch us on Facebook as well as Twitter, Live 365 app, and TuneIn. A host of venues. I'm going to get it.
Yep. Wow, the center had he had to huddle about 15 yards away from the ball, and I know they already won the clock, so I don't know if they're going to get the play off or they're going to let them do it.
Frank Bond now under center in the I formation for the Rough Riders. 2 receivers to the near side. Ball on the ground. Bond's going to fall on it. It will be a loss of 2. Make it 3. It'll be 2nd and 13 now for the Rough Riders.
I don't know if you noticed, Jim, but we're playing a little bit of Coach Bob offense there. We had a little bit of I formation with a tight end. That looked pretty good, but we got to get the snap though.
Well, we've talked about it so often. The I formation is not seen very often now, and it's almost to the point where some teams don't know how to defend it.
Yeah, and that's what worked good for us when we were with the Scourge, because we would go into the 4 set, we'd go to empty set, and then we'd drop down back into the I with a tight end or double tights, and we confused them a lot.
And I don't know if that was a bad snap for the Rough Riders or the Rough Riders quarterback was not able to hand it off properly to the running back.
Looked like a mess. To be quite honest.
Bad first play for the Rough Riders, to say the least here.
Bond now in a shotgun, and we're running back to each side. Twin receivers to the near side. Flag on the play, and I believe we're going to have a false start against the Rough Riders. That'll put them back 5 more. It'll be 2nd and 18 for Mahoning Valley.
Again, a little frustrating by the offense. They'll get it. They just have to settle down. Quarterback's got to get into the huddle and just relax. Say, guys, let's go. Let's just play our game. We've practiced this up. We've played. We know what we're doing. Let's take our time. Think.
Macaulay, Fortson. And will be the corners. We'll keep an eye on them on the outside. Fleming will be the outside linebacker. He'll move out to cover the slot. Twin receivers to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. Bond in the shotgun, running backs to each of his hips. 3-step drop for Bond, stepping out, looking out to his left. He's going to fire, has a man downfield, and it's going to be overthrown just by a little bit. And an excellent throw, but again, just a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, he got behind it. He ran a corner route, and I'll tell you what, he had him beat probably about 3 yards, and he just didn't get it there.
Early going, both quarterbacks overthrowing their receivers. Frank Bond, the guilty party there.
Again, second game. Again, we look at the first one as kind of a preview. It did count. So as far as these guys, they got to get their timing down. They're a little tight right now, but they'll do well. They'll pick it up. They'll get the timing down.
The Rough Riders with a 26-6 loss to the Mountain State Outlaws 2 weeks ago. Scored 26-6. Bond now with the handoff in the backfield and going to be wrapped up. Nowhere to go. Zaire Graham is going to be pulled down by a host of Cleveland Cobras, including the veteran Robert Littlejohn. We talked about him, more of a Jason Taylor type guy, tall, with a long reach. Not a whole lot of places you can go to get away from him.
Yeah, he's all over the place. So very good football player, football sense.
Andy Code will come out. Anthony Neal will replace him on the defensive line.
And the Cobras, I think, are confused here. I thought that they were going to go for it, but now they're putting in their special teams unit for the punt.
And back to return for the Cobras will be Willie James, the wide receiver.
They got 9 guys out there. Here we go.
Keep an eye on Willie James. I am told he's extremely fast. Plays could break open really quick. And I'll keep using the word really.
That's why you want to punt away from him. You don't want to punt to him.
4th and eternity now as the Cobras are going to be offsides. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference since it's 4th and an eternity, but actually would have been a decent punt, maybe gotten a Rough Rider roll, but encroachment on the Cobras. It looked like they were going for the block, Coach.
Yeah, it looked like they were going. And what they got to lose when they're on the other side of the 50, but just be careful and don't give them anything.
So make it 4th down. Oh, we'll call it 7. Or excuse me, 17. The sticks, there was a stick way downfield there.
Way down here.
Plus 10.
8:16 left here, first quarter.
It
no
happens.
Score. Rough Riders now in punt formation. Willie James back to return for the Cobras. Good snap. Gets it back. It'll be off, and it's going to go off the side of his foot and onto the sideline at the 39-yard line. We'll see where the officials want to give the chop signal. He'll start at the 33-yard line, and the referee is saying, come this way.
He'll
get to the 40, and he'll call it at the 39-yard line. So the Cobras will get their second possession, 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line, 8:02 left here in this quarter.
If I may, I'm going to take a little time here, but girls' state championship softball went on today, and Canfield, number 3, lost to Talmadge, score of 9-0. And then Division 1, Fitch, White House Anthony Wayne, and Fitch won 6-1. So we're bringing home a state championship with girls at Austintown Fitch.
Congratulations to local softball teams. As Thompson now in a shotgun, Calhoun is right. Trips receivers to the near side, moving left to right. One receiver to the far side. Thompson on the read, going to keep it himself, take it to the outside, but he's going to be wrapped up. Try to fight to the line of scrimmage, but may have lost a yard on this. And they'll say no, he got back to the line. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Cobras.
A little left foot, right foot there. It looked like he was a little short, but that we understand,
It all depends on which side of that white line you're on.
Absolutely.
Anything to get around the defender.
Yeah. Well, they had him bottled up. They had one in the middle, one on his right, one on his left, and there was somebody barreling down. So, he didn't lose any yards, so they're right there.
Probably not the best read on that one.
No, not at all.
Cobras now coming back out in a 4 wide receiver set, 2x2. Thompson in the shotgun. 7:17 left here, first quarter. Thompson taking his time. 3-step drop, looking out to his left. He's going to fire, and that ball's going to be short. Intended for Antonio Boyd again, but went into the turf.
He had a little bit of pressure, and he looked like he darted that. He didn't have a good arm rotation where he's got to take it above his ear, and looked like he darted it, and that's why he got it short.
Well, could be some first-game jitters, Jared. He didn't play in the first game in the preview, but first time on the turf today.
Yes, absolutely, Jim, and that was a risky throw in a very tight window. 3 defenders around Boyd. The Cobras are just lucky that wasn't picked off there.
6:53 left here in this first quarter. No score. Game 1 of the Tri-Point Football League season here on Western Reserve Radio. As they'll come out with 3 receivers to the near side. Thompson in a shotgun. D'Angelo Thompson, receiver to the near side. Thompson, 3-step drop, looking over the middle. He's going to fire. It's going to go off the fingertips of, I believe that was Daryl Golson. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Cobras in a punting situation.
They're just playing a little bit tight. They're lucky that wasn't picked off. There was a player standing right there. It looked like McElroy was right there. If he takes about 2 more steps, he goes right into his hands. But I don't know why he stopped to look at it. And we mentioned that Mr. Ferris is with us here in the booth too.
We drug him all the way from Youngstown.
And he's running our little camera here. And
little addition here.
Yes.
Joe Barico looks like he's going to be the punter today for the Cobras as Cleveland tries to find a couple extra bodies now to come cover this punt. 5:57 on a running clock. First quarter, no score.
Always special teams, especially the first couple games. But it doesn't get any better during the season because of injuries and people say, a little tired. Send somebody else out there. Drives us coaches nuts.
Mike Griffin, the middle linebacker for the Rough Riders, and a fellow Wilson Redmond.
How about that? Holy
all the way here in Cleveland.
Here you go, Youngstown, Ohio.
Rico waiting for the snap. Clock now running, 5:30. Low snap. He'll get it away. It's going to be blocked. Ball's going to roll on the ground, and no matter what happens, this is going to be the Rough Rider ball, and they'll get it at the 43-yard line. Make that give them the 33 there as the Cobras are going to recover, but to no avail.
This is something that, and Jim knows because he played for me, and all the years that I ever coached, we were always staunch on our special teams. It's a third of the game. I don't care if you're at this level or younger levels. You have got to have your special teams ready to go because they're a third of the game, and this is a prime example why you have to have them. Everybody's got to know what they're doing because this is the things that happen, and it put them in a pickle.
Yeah, that was not good special teams by the Cobras. Just a low snap and not great blocking either.
Well, sometime we'll have to sit down and talk to Coach about bad snaps and tell you. Sometimes they really come back to get you.
Whether it's rolled back or snapped over the punter's head.
It's amazing what you can hear from the 10-yard line. I'll just tell you that.
Lawn snappers, they just got to get that muscle memory.
Yeah, well, and sometimes you got to keep that one, throw that one out of your head, too, when you throw it over their, snap it over their head into the end zone.
Right.
So. I'm not saying that's happened. I'm just saying that could have been a possibility.
Never. Not in football.
No, especially not with Mr. Craven. Never happened.
5:22 left here is Bond going to be under center. 4 wide receiver set, going to be in the I formation. Going to have Ray Catley as the fullback. We'll talk about Ray here as we get a flag. I believe that's going to be a delay of game. Oh, illegal substitution against the Rough Riders. Ray Catley says, I don't know what you're talking about, but we know Catley.
Is that
former
our,
Western Reserve Scourge player.
Is that
Absolutely.
our guy? Boy, I hope he's around after the. I'd like to go down and see him.
Yeah, certainly. We know that Ray Catley will be there. Dave Pringle and Isaac Coker will be on. They're down there for the Rough Riders.
Wow.
So
very good. Those were three players that they have championship rings now because I'll tell you what, they were outstanding players.
And good people.
They are. They're very good people. Very respectful to us coaches, and Coach Noble just loved them.
Ball be at the Cobra 48-yard line now. 5:20 left here, first quarter. Two receivers at the near side. I formation. Bond now with the handoff to the inside. Nowhere to go for Zaire Graham. And he's going to lose a yard on that. It's going to bring up second in eternity for the Rough Riders. And so far, the Mahoning Valley offense just going backwards.
They keep trying to hit that right side. They, in my opinion, right now, they got to have to try to do some type of counter, but they're too close to the line. They got to back up, or they got to take that job step a little bit flatter and then come back this side, because they're scraping and they're not getting any push out of that right side of that offensive line. And the Cobras have dug in, and they're doing an outstanding job of getting under them pads and standing that offensive line up.
Federer and Brown to that far side for the Cobras, both with a sack in game one.
And the Rough Riders are lucky they got that play off, because it looked like number 53, Eric Smith, the left tackle, was going to jump off or false start there.
Bond now in a shotgun, some false movement. Excuse me, that looks like that's going to be Kyrie Dennis to the outside, so that'll be another 5 tagged on to this, and it's going to be, I believe somebody called it second and a cup of coffee at some point here. The Mahoning Valley offense in the negative.
Absolutely. That's a plane ticket to the first down. Absolutely. They just got to they got to relax. They're forcing too much, and they'll do just fine.
I'm told that Eric Smith was the one that jumped for the Rough Riders. 4:10 left here, first quarter. Two receivers to the near side. Bond being the shotgun. They have one running back to each side. Frank Bond step back under pressure, fires over the middle, off the fingertips of his receiver, hits the ground harmlessly, but there was a lot going on there as he tried to get that ball to Kyrie Dennis.
There was 3 people that touched that ball and then finally fell in front of the safety. So a lot of hands touched it, but nobody grabbed it.
And that was great pressure by the Cobras there. I'm not sure who the guilty party was. I believe it was number 47. Don't have a... Oh, wait. Excuse me. That's Harlan Page.
Yes. Now, Harlan Page usually wears 94 today. You may switch numbers, so it's confusing everybody.
I must say, Harlan Page is a big boy, and when you got someone charging at you like that, trying to throw a football, yikes. Look out.
Harlan Page, one of the additions here to the Cleveland Cobras this year's Bond now in the shotgun. Pro set, running back to each side. 3-step drop, looks out to his right, he's under pressure. Robert Littlejohn is going to sack him. The ball's going to come loose, and they're going to be taken back. The aforementioned Harlan Page taking it. 46 yards for the Cleveland Cobras touchdown. No flags on the play. Robert Littlejohn, we talked about him earlier, reaches around, causes the fumble, and Harlan Page finishes it off with the 46-yard rumble to the end zone. Cobras lead 6-0.
He absolutely pancaked the quarterback. He got to him, slammed him. That ball, before he could pull the trigger, came out, and that's an outstanding job.
And what a great touchdown for the Cobras. Last week, or in their previous game, had a pick 6, and now a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yeah, and defensively, guys, I'll tell you, it's so much easier for them to get ahead of the offense. The offense takes time to gel, and when you have that time that you need to gel, a defense like this really helps.
Yeah, as Coach Noble would say, get quarterback. That's all you got to do is get quarterback, and that's exactly what they did. The offense always takes a little bit longer. It's just how it goes in football, especially at this level. You really can't. You try to spend as much time offensively and defensively, but it's a little bit difficult.
So I talked about the defensive ends earlier, for the Cobras, and we talked about Robert Littlejohn, of course, the Cobra veteran, but Devere Glenn making his way from Inglewood, California. We got to see him a couple years ago playing for the Ducks against the Erie Express in the GDFL championship, and played well there. So these are going to be 2 ends they're really looking forward to, kind of like what the Cleveland Browns were looking at with Clowney and Myles Garrett. So
shore up those outsides.
So 3:10 left here, first quarter. Cleveland now with a 6-0 lead over Mahoning Valley. Ben Lyons in for the extra point. Snap is back. Kick is up. And it is headed into the neighborhoods to the west of us. 3:10 left here, first quarter. The Cobras take a 7-0 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. We're going to step aside for a quick 30-second break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia1 network. Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Tyree Knight, number 2 of the Cleveland Cobras, and you're listening to the Tri-Point Football League on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network. Go Cobras!
3:10 left here, first quarter. Cobras with a 7-0 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Along with Coach Bob Gessler, Jared Vinecourt making his adjustment from the ice to the very warm weather here in Cleveland, summertime, and Dave Ferris pushing the buttons. And we have pulled him on the hour and 20-minute trip. As they don't want him to kick from the 40. They're going to move the ball back to the 35.
Receiving team needs to move up.
Ben Lyons to kick off for the Cobras.
I was talking to nobody. They forgot to push my button.
It's all right, Bob.
Dave knows how to push people's buttons, let me tell you.
He does.
This one's going to be on the ground. It's going to make it all the way to the 40-yard line. Ball's going to be bobbled, picked up, and returned for a couple yards and then brought down by a host of Cobras. Cleveland obviously not worried about playing the long game with Mahoning Valley. And it looks like that's going to be Dontrell Nalling on the tackle, the linebacker for the Cobras.
Well, here we go.
Rough Riders, looks like Chris Williams had the return there.
Chris Williams, if that is the Chris Williams I'm thinking, that should be another former Western Reserve Scourge player.
I got to find out that I got to get down on that field afterwards and see these guys. I haven't seen these guys since we have won our championship, and
years.
It's been a little bit.
Gotta go out for dinner.
Yeah, no, expect us to pay.
Yeah, Catley will expect us. I know. So 3:05 left here, first quarter, as we enjoy a little nostalgia here on Western Reserve Radio. Of course, the Western Reserve Scourge, the precursor to what the iMedia1 network has become, is we're going to have one receiver to each side now. Tight ends to both sides. Bond in the shotgun. He'll send a player motion. Ball's going to go high. Bond's going to take it upfield himself, and it'll be brought down just past the 45-yard line, down at the 46-yard line. And just some mechanical problems, Coach, so far for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, thank God he was able to get that, and he's still found a little bit. So that's probably one of the biggest, on a muff, the biggest gain they've had.
So 2nd and 8 for the Rough. Excuse me, 2nd and 7. Well, depending on where they're going to put the stick here, it keeps moving back and forth. So 2:35 left here, first quarter. We'll try to get some scores for you from around the Tri-Point League. Again, week 1 officially of the Tri-Point League play. And
a little bit of T in the backfield.
Yeah, Bond now. 2 receivers to the far side. 1 to the near side. Lower snap. Going to hand off this time. Try to get out to the right side. Nowhere to go. And literally going to bounce off a wall of Cobras and fall back. I believe that was going to be Chris Williams as well on the run. Can't really see these numbers, Coach. For Rough Riders. A little tough there. They're kind of in script. So.
Yeah, they're script kind of, and I'm sure up close looks magnificent, but when you're 40 yards away.
Well, let's be honest. They just didn't check with us, Coach. They just didn't check with us.
Yeah, that's terrible. They need to start checking with the Western Reserve Radio on what
That's right.
I
don't know how the 216 network guys are doing over here, but I'll tell you that the numbers are still hard to see. But we've at least gotten the Cobras to the point where they're not wearing the black numbers on the black jerseys.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. 1:27 left here, first quarter. Time winding down here in this first frame. As Bond now in the shotgun. He'll have one running back offset to his right side. He'll step up. Trips Trip receiver to the near side. Bond now rolling out to his left, looking downfield, trying to set his feet. Fires, almost picked up, tipped off the hands of a defender and caught on the sideline. I believe that's going to be Kyrie Dennis. Looks like it went off the hands of Craig Williams. Great, well played by the Cobras, just couldn't catch the ball, and I guess that's why you're on the defensive side of the ball. But
yeah. I'll tell you what, it fell right into his lap. He kept his feet and stayed in bounds. That's good concentration by him and being a ball hawk. That's very good there.
So 49 seconds left here on a running clock. 7-0 is the Cobras' lead, as the Rough Riders having a little trouble getting the offense going. Cleveland scoring defensively, as Robert Littlejohn would have the strip sack, and Harlan Page would return it 46 yards for the Cobra touchdown.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the Rough Riders' first down of the game.
Sometimes better lucky than good.
Yeah.
So Bond now in the shotgun. He's going to have 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Be 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Bond back to fire downfield. He's got a receiver open. Going to overthrow him. Again, couldn't catch a number on the receiver there, but might have been Tyler Barnes. So we'll give Tyler the credit on it. With 8 seconds left here, stopple clock just before the end of the first quarter.
It looked like he hesitated, too, about the 10-yard line, and that may have we got some numbers out there that we don't.
Well, I'll tell you, Frank Bond's showing some arm, though. He can get the ball downfield.
Yeah, we apologize because coming on the set in the offense right now, there's an 88. We don't have him listed, so we apologize.
So Twins receiver to the far side. Handoff this time out to the left side. Nowhere to go, as Rough Riders trying to find some answers here, but may have lost a yard on the play. That was going to be Catley on the carry, running into a host of Cleveland Cobras.
It looks like their offensive line is just hesitant. They're not firing off the ball.
End of the first quarter here in Lakewood. The Cobras with a 7-0 lead. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, second quarter action here on Western Reserve Radio on the iMedia1 network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Second quarter action coming up here on Western Reserve Radio on the iMedia Network. iMedia1 Network. I'll get it right.
That's okay.
I'm new here.
You're close.
So, yeah, on that note, Cobras with a 7-0 lead. That comes by way of a Robert Littlejohn strip sack and a Harlan Page 46-yard fumble recovery in the first quarter. So the Cobras' first regular season touchdown comes defensively. As Bond now will be in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the near side. One running back to each side. He'll hand it off. Oh, he'll pull it from Catley. Roll out to his right. Bond directing traffic. Fires downfield. Has an open receiver, but he's going to catch it out of bounds. He had Kyrie Dennis on the target. Dennis was open, but just ran out of real estate, Coach.
Yeah, the throw went outside, and he's mad because he should have had that. But he did catch it, but it was a yard out. Now there's an injury. He went down and slammed his back, so guarantee you to knock the wind out of them.
Jared was seeing it again. We talked about some of the speed. We're certainly seeing it today with these receivers are trying to open up the offenses.
Yeah, really trying to run down field, getting those vertical routes, trying to get the big play early here in Lakewood, Ohio. And great pressure from the Cobras defensive back, Michael Marshall.
Kyrie Dennis, the one down on the sideline here, as he'll have some of his teammates come over and check on him.
Oh, yeah. He's holding the belly, so he'll get the wind knocked out of him.
Which we'll take that. That's not a bad thing. You can recover from that.
Yeah, you can recover from that. Nice fake, too, when he faked going to the left and then bootlegged this way. He had a little bit of pressure. But I'll tell you what, throw was there if he keeps it in bounds. He's getting receivers open. He's just overthrowing them for probably 3-4 yards.
Again, we talk about the arm strength of Bond. I mean, he's really doing a great job on that. When he gets his feet set, he'll get a little more accuracy. That's going to be a dangerous long game as Mahoning Valley will come out for the punt. 14:39 left here, second quarter. Cobras with a 7-0 lead. And it's going to be Willie James back to return. He's going to post up right around his own 15-yard line.
Okay, what do we got now?
Illegal substitution on the Rough Riders, so they'll move it back 5 more yards.
Again?
And I'm starting to, I'm not keeping the stats here, but they may have more yards and penalties than they offense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now Cobra's got to be careful not jumping off.
And Willie James should have a nice return here.
So they'll get this one away. It's going to be tipped at the line. It's going to go out of bounds. And we'll see where they mark this one. So anything that can go wrong for the Rough Riders so far has. Ball looked like it was tipped, Coach, and went over into the Rough Rider sideline across the field.
Yeah, they got to really work on special teams here. That's going to be something that, again, I would be working on. Right off the bat, you spend at least a half hour of your practice. I don't care if it's 1 or 2 practices, they have to do that. It's just they look very sloppy on special teams.
And over here by the Cobra sideline, Eric Bankhead and for the Rough Riders, Tyler Barnes were getting into it. Bankhead shoved Barnes. Referees had to separate them. Hopefully that doesn't go any further throughout the game.
Yeah, this isn't hockey. We can't do that here.
It's just a fireside chat.
We'll get thrown out.
They were just talking, what they had for dinner.
2 receivers now to the far side, 2 to the near side. Anthony Neal will be the slot to the near side as Thompson will hand this off. Nowhere to go. He'll lose a couple yards. On the run, it's going to be T.J. Johnson. It'll be a loss of 2 for the Cobras. 2nd and 12 now for Cleveland.
And Taylor Johnson missed his block there. Not able to secure on that left side. And that's what made the Cobras lose some yardage there.
I can't get the number of the Rough Rider got in there. I'll tell you what, he shot and got through that block, and he was on him quick.
13:25 left here, second quarter. Cobras with a 7-0 lead. As they'll go out trips to the far side. Shotgun now for the Cobras. Thompson now, quick pass into the inside. That's going to be complete. Pass midfield to the 40, 30, 25, 20. One man to beat and brought down at the 10-yard line. Cobras first and goal at the 10. And I didn't get a number. I believe that was going to be. Let's see if we can get a number on that.
Marcus Brown was in on the tackle for the Rough Riders that saved the touchdown.
I believe that was going to be a Brill Taylor. Just came to the inside, Coach, caught that quick pass, and made a few good moves.
Yeah, absolutely. They used the speed to the T, so.
12:47 on it. Our running clock here, second quarter. Cobras with a 7-0 lead. 1st and 10 now. First and goal from the 10-yard line.
That was Matthew Wise that caught that.
Bart Evans, the receiver, now to the far side. Keyshawn McCoat will be to the left side. Here's Thompson now on the option. Going to fake it, keep it himself. Maybe picked up a yard on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal for Cleveland.
Trying to run that inside zone on that.
and it looked like Thompson was going to pitch it to the left side, but he kept it himself. And we'll see if the Cobras run another play here or try to do the quick screen pass like they did in that big gain earlier on the drive.
Certainly worked out well. May have found something in there. Well executed on that. Looked very crisp on that very long play.
Sometimes it's just that simple. Short and sweet. That's what gets you the yardage, and that's what gets you the touchdowns.
Some great athletes here for the Cobras. T.J. Johnson, the running back now, to the left of Thompson. 3 receivers to the far side, moving right to left on your devices. Thompson, back to pass. He'll quick pass it over the middle. It's going to be caught into the end zone. It will be Keyshawn Bacote for the Cleveland touchdown. 11:30 of the second quarter. Cobras take a 13-0 lead.
I was going to absolutely say if somebody doesn't have inside leverage, that slant's going to be there, and he was head up on him, and he was playing tough, so he gave him the inside, and that was wide open.
And that was a great cut inside. Great route ran by the Cobras, and slants are bread and butter for wide receivers and quarterbacks. And now the Cobras have a 2-possession lead.
Did a great job using his body to shield out the defender.
With quarterback looked right, and then saw that they had both had inside leverage. So then that's why he looked here. He had that inside receiver, and DB was head up on him, so he knew he could beat him to that inside. So it was 1-2 and release, and that's what he did. And then the receiver had to fight to the goal.
Ben Lyons on to kick the extra point for the Cobras. Steve Anthony, the long snapper. Snap is back. Kick is up. And it is good. So with 11:30 left here in the second quarter, the Cobras take a 14-0 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia1 network.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
$11:30 left here in this second quarter. Cobras with a 14-0 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. I want to give a shout out to some supporters for the Cleveland Cobras this year. I want to thank them for their investment. We'll start with Smoky Seafood Barbecue. Sexy, sophisticated, and savory. Call 216-632-1506. Who doesn't like barbecue?
Especially that way that was described.
Yep, actually. Also naturally nourished. Advanced Estesian, 330-937-8399. Give them a call. Also, Gibson Elite Athletics, Cleveland's elite athletic training. Go to GibsonEliteAthletics.com for more information. As Lyons is going to kick this one downfield and head towards the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. And I know, Coach, I know your love for the kicking game and kickers in particular, but it's nice to have somebody with that skill that can get you,
you can
get the ball in the end zone. Like
exactly, you put it in the end zone that forces them to drive the field. That is the one thing I do appreciate about a kicker. There's not much.
And Jared, if you haven't figured out, Coach loves kickers.
I can tell so much, and that's what's so difficult about the kicking position is all the pressure that's put on game-winning field goals, getting the touchbacks that you need, getting them pinned back in their own end zone.
It's really, you don't love them until you need them, really.
Right.
I think
they're on the field for 7 seconds.
Sorry,
Just
Bill.
Do your job.
Unless you have the great Cleveland Browns kicker, Phil Dawson.
We had the great scourge kicker, Bill Santel.
And every time he missed it, he blamed it on the holder or the snapper.
Again, nostalgia night here in Lakewood.
The physics and mechanics for a great field goal.
11:30 left here, second quarter. Bond now in the shotgun, one running back to each side. Catley to his right, one receiver to the near side, two to the far side. Now hand it off to Catley. Catley trying to find his way onto the outside, nowhere to go. And he'll be brought down in the backfield. And trying to get a number on that. I believe that was going to be Cam Scott coming in from his corner position. And again, another blitz there. Cobras really comfortable walking people up to the line.
Yeah, what I think what they're reading is if the end blocks down, it's an automatic fire. So he's just chasing, and that's exactly what he did because Catley just hesitated for a second and bang from the backside. He was right on him.
Carlos Alexander making his way into the Cobras defense now as well. 10:54 left here. Second quarter. Cleveland with a 14-0 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders out of Youngstown. Owned and operated by Ike Griffin, the former Wilson Redmond. I got to throw that in there.
Absolutely.
Bond now in a shotgun, 3-step drop. Under pressure, going to step up. And he's going to break a few tackles, try to get to the outside. He's going to get a good block from Catley. Trying to make his way past the 25, and he'll go out of bounds there. As he'll pick up, not sure he picked up much on there. It looked like a little more from this angle, but
I think he got to the 25 is where they're going to mark it. That's what it looked like.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 now for the Rough Riders.
And that was great pressure from the Cobras, both defensive ends, bringing pressure onto Frank Bond, and then Frank Bond just doing a great job of scrambling out of the pocket and making nothing out of something.
Now we talked about the defensive end here for the Cobras. Anthony Neal and Devere Glenn in now for the Cobras. And again, both players tall and rangy. So to get around them, that takes some skill. But Frank Bond doing a good job making a few moves, trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, because that could have been deadly. That could have been a big loss. Instead, at least he got a yard gain on it.
9:33 here on a running clock. We'll call it 3rd and 10 for the Rough Riders at their own 25-yard line. Bond in a shotgun. Low snap. Frank trying to pick it up. Under pressure, going to find some room in the middle. He's going to get past the 35, 40. He'll make it out to midfield, and he'll go out of bounds at the midfield stripe. That'll be a first down for the Rough Riders, and they've got a little bit something going, even if it is on some improvisation.
Well, I'll tell you what, he could scamper. He saw that opening, and I thought he was going to get hit around the 40-yard line, and it opened up, and he turned the jets on, and outstanding job.
Bond bringing out his inner Russell Wilson or Cam Newton, if you will. But great job with Bond seeing the hole through the middle, running straight through, and getting the first down for the Rough Riders.
1st and 10 at midfield for the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. 8:59 left here on the clock. 14-0 is the score. Cobras with the lead. Rough Riders having their best drive of the game so far. There's a point in the game where they had more penalty yards than offensive yards.
That's going to happen sometimes on these first games. You know, you just got to just do your job. They seem to be tightening up here, but again, quarterback's legs.
Bond in a shotgun. Try to get her away on the cross on the handoff. Contact made in the backfield. But Raven Jones going to break the tackle. And he's still going to be brought down in the backfield. But great contact there initially by Harlan Page, who already has a touchdown today.
When they run an offensive play, it's just not flowing right. It looks like there's just too much hesitation somewhere. The offensive backfield's got to move quicker. There's just too much delay when they run a play, and that's what I'm seeing up here.
That was great by Harlan Page to read the fake handoff initially to number 20 of the Rough Riders, Raymond Kately Melkroy, and able to read that fake handoff and help to get the loss for the Cobras.
Harlan Page, a lot to handle there in that A-gap between the guard and the center, so that's a big task there as Bond now again back in the shotgun. You have Jones at his left, Catley to his right. One receiver to each side. Bond back to throw, 3-step drop, fires down left field, trying to find a guy on the inside. It's going to be picked off at the 26-yard line by the Cobras, brought out to the 35-40. He'll pass midfield, get to the 40, has one man to beat, will get the block. Going to cut back to the inside and into the end zone for the second defensive touchdown of the day for the Cobras. And we're going to have a flag on the play. Terrell Lively may have this one wiped out. A 74-yard interception return. We'll see if it came before or after the interception.
We're calling it pushing from the back.
Is it on, but it's going to be on who? I'm assuming, I see Harlan Page arguing it, so.
They're bringing it back.
Is it going to be defensive pass interference, or is it going to be an illegal block in the back after the interception?
Well, they're just going to take it from the spot of the foul, so it's going to be on, I'm assuming it's going to be on the interception.
So illegal block in the back is going to be the call, as the Cobras will get the turnover, but they will not get the touchdown. And Terrell Lively doing a great job going down the far sideline, cutting back inside, getting into the end zone on the 76-yard interception return. That'll be wiped out. However, the Cobras will take over offensively.
Yeah, they'll get the ball about on the 44-yard line.
And that's where the umpire is indicating they will set the ball. But nonetheless, second turnover of the day for the Cobras.
And that was great zone coverage by the Cobras to able to force that interception, and great man coverage on the sideline there, and doing great defensively here in their first game.
That was one of the things that Jesse Caldwell was very happy about, the amount of speed, not only size, but speed that the Cobras were going to have. And again, we talked about how it takes time for these offenses at this level to develop some kind of continuity, but the Cobras indeed defensively are strong, so they'll keep you in the game even if you're going to make mistakes offensively.
Well, their offensive line is doing a good job. The piggies up front, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job. They just got to sustain their blocks and open them up and get these guys turned to get some alleys.
1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line. 7:12 left here, second quarter. Cobras with a 14-0 lead. Thompson now with the snap. Quick handoff up the middle. TJ Johnson past midfield out to the 45, 40. He'll get into Rough Rider territory and be brought out of bounds at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cleveland.
Smart run. He came left and was just tipped his head back to the right, saw it open up, and then he took it right. Everything was flowing left, and he went right.
And that's the best run the Cobras have had so far in this game.
So 6:51 on a running clock. Thompson now in the shotgun, 2 receivers to each side. 1st and 10. Little confusion on the play. Thompson going to take it himself out to the right side. He's going to slip a tackle and make his way down to the 30-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. Depends on where they want to spot it. Slap Thompson, not normally the running quarterback type, but did a great job. It looked like he went to hand it off and then maybe misread that one.
Yeah, I did not. It was hard to tell. I think he wanted to give it, but he ended up keeping it. So
they're going to mark him a yard short here, so it'll be 2nd and 1 at the 31-yard line. 6:13 left here, second quarter. Cleveland with a 14-0 lead, and now the Cobras offense starting to get moving.
Sorry, Coach. Either Thompson misread the Cobras play call or realized the defense was going to read that pitch, so he just kept it for himself either way, and good positive yards.
Trips receivers to the near side now. Again, 2nd and 1. Thompson in the shotgun. He'll hand it off up the middle. Be TJ Johnson dragging players down the field, down to the 20. Would be a first down. Flag on the play, though. And judging by Slap Thompson's reaction, this is probably going against Cobras.
I'm going to think holding. It looked like once he broke the line of scrimmage, there was a little bit of, I'll hold you from the back, they'll never see me. But they got him.
Sam Bullock now will check in for the Cobras. Antoine Peterson Sr. will check out, as will TJ Johnson. TJ Johnson active in the game 2 weeks ago against the West Virginia Leviathan. That was a Thompson-less offense that day, and TJ Johnson did a good job.
Yeah. I believe that was the Cobras' 2nd or 3rd penalty of the half.
So trip receivers to the far side now, 1 receiver to the near side. Thompson in the shotgun. He'll have Calhoun to his left. Thompson back to pass, takes 1 step, fires over the middle, going to be thrown into the turf. Really no receiver in the area, but some claims that got 1 receiver claiming he may have been held.
I'll tell you what, though, he had 2 guys, 1 on top of him, 1 inside. If he would have thrown that where it needed to be, that was a pick because there was somebody standing right in front of the receiver.
Clock starting to run here. 5:10 left here just before the half. Cobras with a 14-0 lead. As the Cobras get 1 offensive touchdown, 1 defensive touchdown in game 1 of the 2023 Tri-Point Football League season.
Defensively, they're not playing bad. Rough Riders are, they're there. Offensively, they just got to get their timing down and get some stuff going.
Yeah, the effort definitely there for Mahoning Valley. Thompson in the shotgun now. Trip receiver to the near side. 3-step drop. Going to roll out to his right now under pressure. Looking for a receiver downfield. And he's going to throw it out of bounds. Smart veteran decision at that point. Nobody was open, didn't force it.
Yeah, and he was running for his life, and when he was running right, there was nobody right. Everybody was either center of the field or left, and there was no reason to flick anything and create a interception. So that was a smart move by him.
So 3rd and 11 now for the Cobras. 4:30 left here. in this first half.
And if you're the Cobras, you would really love to convert here in third down and keep the clock running, keep the ball for the rest of the quarter, put up some offensive points.
I think we have a math mistake on the far side because I think it's going to be fourth down as Barrico comes in to punt. There we go. Now they're throwing us off here.
Yeah, I was kind of confused there myself because we're in punt position, and I see third down, and I didn't know what was going on. So
okay, so
they got to get there.
They got us, Jerry.
They got us, yeah, they did.
That will happen many a times between now and December.
Yep, indeed it will. So 4th and 11. See, they've got me conditioned.
See, I got you. There you go.
Barrico now to punt. Steve Anthony into snap for the Cobras. They'll be punting from the Rough Rider 41-yard line. So this should go deep into Rough Rider territory. Anthony with a nice snap. Barrico will get this one away. It's going to be blocked.
Get it again.
And it's going to be picked up by the Rough Riders and returned all the way to the end zone. 55 yards on the return for the Rough Riders. And they get on the scoreboard defensively as well. Can't get a number, Coach, if you can see it, who got the block and the recovery and returned that.
I believe that was number 55, Christopher Mackey, with the block and return for a touchdown. That's the Cobra's second punt today that has been blocked.
Yeah. It looked like it's hard to read their numbers, so I'm going to it looks like, and it's what Dave believes, it was 25, but we do not have a 25 listed on the Rough Riders.
Okay, so we do apologize for that. Nonetheless, the Rough Riders get on the board. They trail 14-6 with 3:35 left here in this second quarter. 55-yard punt, block, and return. As I'm sure head coach Adam Rogerson cannot be happy with that. Snap wasn't bad. Maybe not as fast as they wanted it to be, but...
Well, as much as we say that quarterbacks, receivers, linemen are so important, again, go back to the kickers, punters. This is the difference. It just takes too long. It looks like you got a lineman who is trying to punt the ball or a linebacker. You need to get somebody who's going to be in there, catch that ball, and get it out of there. He's holding it too much, and that's exactly what's happening.
So the Rough Riders will go for 2 on this. Bond will be in the shotgun. However, Raven Jones to his left. Twin receivers to the right. 2 receivers to the far side. On now, back to pass. Going to fire out to the right side. Try to find a corner of the end zone. Hand fighting going on in the corner there. The officials aren't going to call it. And the conversion will be no good. And the Rough Riders will continue to trail by a score of 14-6. We'll keep it right here, Coach, as we talk about some of those week 1 mistakes. We're seeing them here, especially on special teams. Yeah. And that is costing both teams.
Again, a lot of coaches at this level, and we were there, they don't spend a lot of time on special teams, and that was something that we did, again, I stress, and that helped us in a lot of games. We had a lot of punt returns for touchdowns, kickoff returns, a lot of block stuff on defense, so we've done quite well.
So, and Jared, again, we talked about being patient. As we saw back in September when we saw the new Phantoms,
right.
We thought there was some work that needed to be done, and we were patient. They win a championship, and certainly we don't judge everything based on week 1, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah, it's going to take some time for the Cobras to shake off the rust and are having a great performance here in the first half against the Rough Riders. But as we keep saying, got to work on the special teams. That's the number one thing they have to work on going into halftime.
3:35 left here in this first half. Cleveland with a 14-6 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. We got started with the scoring in the first quarter as Robert Littlejohn would get the strip sack, and Harlan Page would go 46 yards for the Cobra touchdown. The extra point would be good. And then Keyshawn McCoat would catch a Slap Thompson pass in the second quarter, going 9 yards into the end zone. Nice job on the slant. And then the Rough Riders get a blocked punt, and they return it 55 yards to get on the board as well. 3:35 again left here in this half. Rough Riders kicking team on there for the second time today. This one's going to be a short kick. Down to the 35-yard line. Juwan Carlisle with the ball, trying to bring it upfield. He's going to take a shot. Going to hold on to the ball, though. He'll be brought down at the 42-yard line. That's where the Cobras will take over 1st and 10 with 3:27 left here in the second quarter.
He hit the kicker, who happens to be a defensive tackle and offensive tackle, and it was like he hit a brick wall and bounced about 2 yards back. So that was an outstanding job by that young man to get down there and cover that. But
I think Deion Sanders would disagree with that and say that was a bad business decision.
yeah, especially running right into that tree trunk. Holy mackerel.
E.J. Bibb skipping onto the field now, having a good time.
It's Cobras football.
That's right.
Why
I mean, if
wouldn't
you're
you
not
be
having
a good
fun,
time?
then you're not doing it right.
Well, that's the other thing. You come out here, you work your rear ends off, you do what you got to do, but you got to have fun. And that was something that I believe that we pushed on all of our teams at all of our levels where we coached, and you got to have fun with it. You can't keep yelling and worrying about things, and we got a timeout.
And I believe the Cobras will take their first time out of the half. 3:27 left here in the second quarter. We're going to step aside for a timeout as well. You're listening to the Cleveland Cobras football right here on the iMedia1 network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
.327 left here in this half. Cobras taking over 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line.
I was waiting for the Wolfman or Frankenstein to come out and walk across the field.
That is
I love
Dave
it.
Ferris's favorite return music. As Thompson now will have 2 receivers to each side. He'll send Edwards in motion. He'll pitch it to Edwards. Edwards under pressure, going to be brought down for a loss of a couple yards. It'll be 2nd and 12 now for the Cobras, and not much doing on that one, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, that could have been one massive collision because it looked like it was number 10. Zier Graham was right there, and if he squares up, that could have been that could have been an absolutely explosion, and there could have been a drop ball on that one. He whiffed on him. He hits him with that shoulder and drops him. That would have been, oops.
Wind starting to pick up here in the Lakewood area. 2:48 left here on a running clock. Thompson now in a shotgun. He'll have John Washington to his left. He'll have Edwards and Boyd to the left side. Quick pass out to Edwards. Edwards trying to fight his way past the 40 and down at the 44-yard line.
That's a great job by that corner. 20.
Yeah, hard to see these number guys.
Yeah, it is hard. It looks like Frank Boyd, number 2, maybe.
Believe that was number 27, but we don't have a 27 on the roster.
Thompson back to pass, 3-step drop. Shoulder fakes, going to take it himself upfield, get past the 45 and down at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, correct myself. Dave's here. He's helping us out with these numbers. It looked like a Mike Holland. I apologize.
Cobras right back to the line now. Of D'Angelo Thompson to the far side, and we'll have a stoppage as the Cobras will take their second timeout of the half. 1:48 left here in the second quarter. We're going to step aside for a quick 30-second timeout here on the Cleveland Cobras Radio Network and the iMedia1 Network.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
1:48 left here in this half. Cobras with a 14-6 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Rough Riders now with Thompson in, 4th down, but We're going to have some movement up front, and it's going to be a false start against the Cobras. So it'll be 4th and 11 now, as Cleveland will keep the offense on the field. Haven't had much success with the punting team, but the defense has played well, so they're going to play to that strength. Coach.
Right. We were just talking on the break, and I said, just have him quick kick it. There's nobody back, and just get it and punt it, because their punters their specials has not been good.
And indeed, they heard you as Thompson will kick this one. It'll hit it to 30, and going to take a Cobra roll with a little bit of help from D'Angelo Thompson. We'll see where they mark the ball.
We got a flag.
Another flag on the play.
About the 42.
Again, we talk about these week 1 jitters and some of the mistakes made as the officials are going to meet right around the 46-yard line to discuss this one. 1:40 left here in this half. Cobras with a 14-6 lead here in week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. Adam Rogerson given a first down signal. So blindside block against the defense. That will be a personal foul and an automatic first down for the Cobras. And 1:40 left here, Coach. 1 timeout, plenty left to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's as far as the defense. You just can't do that. I mean, think about what's going on. You've stopped them from here. They're going to quick kick it, and I don't get it. Okay, wait a minute. We're arguing something here. Hold on. Hold. As Mr. Bob Roth used to say, hold the phones back in the day.
I don't know, Jared. We've tried to change some of the officials' decisions all year long. We weren't real good at it. I don't know if they're going to be any more successful here.
Yeah, we had as good as luck as we did with slot machines at the casino in Cleveland. That's how good we are with the refs' choices.
So Dave Pringle actually coming out on the field trying to help out. Not in uniform today.
Okay, I believe the defense, they must have picked up the flag.
So maybe, I guess that slot machine just hit there, Jared. They may have talked them out of this one, but that or they're talking about the spot of the ball. Not sure which.
Okay, I'm confused now.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait to see
There's,
where the ball is going to be. They're going to say it's going to be Mahoning Valley's ball at the 15-yard line from the way they're placing it.
Yeah, but that should have been this way.
So they're going to say that was going to be after the change of possession. Therefore, it will be against Mahoning Valley.
Yes, and they'll add it to Valley. Okay,
so
I got you.
14-6 is the score. Cleveland with the lead. 1:40 left here in this first half.
If you're Mahoning Valley here, you want to run a quick 2-minute drill, try to get some points before the end of the half. We haven't seen their kicker kick yet today, as they went for 2 earlier on their return for a touchdown.
Now, the kicking game has been dangerous on both sides.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to say run something safe, quick handoff, just run in the middle, try to run the clock. If they don't use the timeouts, that'll be fine. But you got them backed up now. I wouldn't take any chances with anything.
Bond now in the shotgun. One running back to each side. 2 receivers to the far side. 1 single receiver to the near side. That'll be Cam McCauley on the defense for the Cobras. He'll be one-on-one. Bond now with the handoff. Going to take the coach's advice. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage and brought down by a host of black and green jerseys.
And I'm shocked that there's no timeout. I don't know how many timeouts left that the Cobras have, but I would have definitely burnt one.
Yeah, the Cobras have 1 left, and I believe Mahoning Valley hasn't taken a timeout yet. So they have plenty of time on the clock and plenty of timeouts to run a drive here, but it looks like they just want to run out the clock and get to halftime.
Yeah, just be safe. That would be silly to try to do anything this deep. I would let the quarterback do what he got to do. I'd just send your 2 running backs in the middle and just see what he can pick out, because he seems to be your best and fast athlete out there.
2 receivers to the far side for the Rough Riders. Chris Williams be to the near side. He'll be one-on-one with Cam McCauley. Bond now. Trying to keep the ball. He's going to work his way upfield. Nowhere to go. Be brought down just past the 15-yard line. May have made it to the 16 with 37 seconds left here in the half. And I think you're right, Coach. The Rough Riders should go in the locker room. Maybe look for some adjustments, as there's an entire way to go here. Close game here in Lakewood. Cobras 14. Mahoning Valley Rough Riders 6.
Mistakes have hurt both teams, obviously, and obviously the special teams have not helped the matters either. They're just going to let it run out.
With 13 seconds left, it looks like the Rough Riders will make their way back to their sideline, and we will head to the half here in week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. Cleveland leads this one by a score of 14-6. And Jared, again, we talk about mistakes. We talk about earliness here. It is shown, but no lack of athleticism. Great athletes out here. It's going to be a timing issue.
Yeah, it is going to be a timing issue, Jim, and you got to have short-term memory. You got to go in, fix the stuff that you weren't able to do in the first half, and go out and execute in the second half and put points on the board if you're the Cobras.
Yeah, Todd Glover will work on that for the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Adam Rogerson will try to clean it up for the Cobras. We're going to step aside for a timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia1 network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
here at Garfield Stadium in Lakewood. Halftime here, 5:50, just about 5.5 minutes left here in the half. Cobras with a 14-6 lead. The scoring got started in the first quarter as Robert Littlejohn would have the strip sack on quarterback Frank Bond. Harlan Page would pick up the ball and run it back 46 yards to get the Cobras on the board. The conversion would be good. Second quarter action, it would be Slap Thompson to Keyshawn Bacote on the 9-yard touchdown pass. And then later in the second quarter, the Rough Riders would get on the board with a 55-yard punt block return for a touchdown. And kicking game again, Coach, dangerous for both teams today. Yeah. You might see a lot more going forward on fourth down.
Yeah, it's just they need a lot of work on that. And unfortunately, Mahoning Valley needs to work on their offense because their timing is off. So their defense, not playing bad. They're doing a pretty good job. Defensive backs are covering. If anything, I would try to run a little bit quicker stuff because Cobras have not covered things quite well as a defensive back. So I'd probably attack that a little bit.
And, there's somebody out there that says statistically, if you go for it on fourth down, you have more success if you never punt. I've seen that, a special on that.
Yeah.
And that might be the case today. It might be safer to go on fourth down.
Yeah, you see a lot in high school football. They don't really punt the ball, and they go for it on fourth down. And more times than not, they convert.
It's funny because and I don't recall, it's a high school team that has never punted.
I think that's the special we had seen.
Yeah.
Which he says statistically you'll do better, like Jared said.
He's been doing it for umpteen years. He's like they're going to put a statue in there, and he just never punts. He goes for it because apparently his percentage rate is amazing.
All I can say for you, Coach, is the only thing that means is there's no kicker.
Yeah.
So want to take an opportunity to thank some of the sponsors for the Cleveland Cobras, as we want to include Erica Marie Financials. Now accepting new clients. Bookkeeping services is Erica Marie Financials. Call 330-785-5432 or go to ericamariefinancials.com. Also, want to again thank Smoky Seafood Barbecue. Call 216-632-1506. Sexy, sophisticated, and savory.
We have to go to that. There's just something about that place and their slogan. I just got to get there.
Well, I mentioned that to Savon Gibson. He sent me this information, and I'm like, I love barbecue. And I don't care what it is. You barbecue it, throw sauce on it, I'm in. And he says he's got to get me hip. Great smoked seafood. So
it's fine. I just don't know where the sexy comes in. I'm just a little confused.
I don't know.
On
have you seen how I looked at a rack of ribs? I didn't get to.
You guys are getting me hungry. You get me hungry. I'm drooling
and that's
over
the
here.
whole point.
I haven't had dinner yet.
Have I seen you in a rack of ribs? Is that
I'm
eating
telling
or
you,
wearing it?
I am an addict when it comes to that. But we're making Jared hungry, and so we're working on it. Smoky Seafood Barbecue, man. We're doing it here.
We got to hit that. Absolutely. God, that's great.
I want to thank Gibson Elite Athletics, Cleveland's Elite Athletic Training Center. Go to GibsonEliteAthletics.com for more information. Just a little over 2 minutes left here in the half. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, third quarter action here from Garfield Stadium in Lakewood. It's the Cleveland Cobras 14, the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders 6. We're back after this.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Mill Creek Golf Course is the host venue for the AJGA PGA Hope Program, 8 high school teams, and 2 collegiate teams. Mill Creek Golf Course is your Callaway certified golf club fitting facility. It was named the PGA of America's National Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility 2022. Book your tee time at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
All right, second half action coming up here in Lakewood as the Cobras lead the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders by a score of 14-6. Guys out on the field having fun on a night that is kind of cooled off, a little bit overcast now, no rain expected, but a lot colder than it is in the Youngstown area. We made our way up here. We were putting on air conditioners and opening windows and fans, and we brought a fan here, but really didn't need it tonight.
I worked my propane and ran home and grabbed the bologna sandwich.
Would that be Gessler propane?
That would be
in
Gessler,
Struthers?
and we have gas.
All right, there we go.
Welcome to the land, boys. We've been expecting you.
Say hello to Mark Means, who's working out of his Trumbull County studio.
Oh, absolutely. Dave just pointed out that he called it a strawberry moon, and boy, is it
Indeed,
red
that's
and
what it
beautiful.
is.
And
Beautiful.
It's full moon, and all the crazies will be out tonight.
There's good news.
We love on the summer nights here at the 216, the sun sets over Lake Erie. Beautiful than ever.
15 minutes up on the board here as Cobras will try to get something going offensively again. A lot of defensive work for the Cobras as they get the first touchdown in the first quarter on a Robert Littlejohn strip sack fumble. And Harlan Page picks it up and goes 46 yards into the end zone for the Cobras. Keyshawn Bacote gets the 9-yard reception from Slap Thompson. And the Rough Riders get a block punt. As kick here will stay on the ground and go down to the 20. Be picked up at the 14-yard line, brought back out to the 25, 30. 35 and down to the 39-yard line. It's going to be a horse collar tackle coming up against Cleveland. I believe that's going to be Sion Kelly Sr. On the tackle, and you could see him go back, and you kind of cringe every time you see that.
Yeah, but I don't know if he had him around the collar, Jim. It looked like he had a sleeve over top of his shoulder pads, and it didn't look like he had his hand in actual collar, but the angle that I'm at, so I really don't know. So.
I think you were right for a moment. I thought the officials were discussing it to make sure they got the call right.
Right.
But I think it was more the angle that he came down at, backwards with his legs under him, that caught their attention.
Yeah, but I think they, again, not that they ever would, but I think they blew that call. I think because he fell backwards, they thought he had him by it, but he didn't. He had him by his shoulder. I had a clear view of that. But again, I'm not the one that has the stripes. I'm not the one that has a penalty flag. I'm just up here as a smiling face.
Sorry, that was Jackson Jones that made the tackle, but that'll give the Rough Riders good starting field position right at the midfield stripe, 14:53. Third quarter here. We're just getting underway here in the second half. Cobras with a 14-6 lead here in Lakewood, week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. Cobras on the field 2 weeks ago as they took on West Virginia Leviathan. Struggled a little bit for 3 quarters, got together in the fourth quarter, really started to click. And they pick up the 20-3 win 2 weeks ago. Cobras will be back in action next week as they will host the Steel City Bobcats right here in Lakewood. As we go 2 receivers to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side. That'll be Chris Williams. Bond in the shotgun. 1 running back to each side to be Raven Jones. He'll send him in motion, and he's going to head upfield, but flag on the play. Bond going to take it to the outside, past the 40, 35, and out of bounds inside the 30, but that's going to come back as Raven Jones turned upfield before the snap.
Yeah, if he would have just came and sat or squared up and then slid, shuffled to the right, that would have been fine. But unfortunately, he attacked the line of scrimmage, and this isn't Canadian football. You cannot do that.
Yeah, the Rough Riders are really having struggling with their offensive line and not really able to connect with Bond.
And the penalties really starting to hurt them.
Yeah.
Every positive yard they have ends up on it with a penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be real. It's to be honest with you, their penalty yards and their yards gained is going to be pretty close.
14:26 on a running clock here, third quarter. Now going to be first down. They'll move the ball back to the 45-yard line, so call it 1st and 15.
This is going to be a key thing for the Rough Riders. Are they going to be able to limit the penalties in the second half compared to the first half?
You're absolutely right. How much are they going to hurt themselves is Bond waits for the snap. Hand off to Raven Jones. The big man trying to get to the outside. He's going to be cut at the legs and brought down. That's going to be, Jacoby Brown on the tackle for the Cobras, and that's going to be a loss of yards for the Rough Riders.
They just don't have the speed to get outside that. And not only that, the ends are so quick, they're able to adjust as they're coming in. As soon as they get around them, they're able to flatten back out and be able to come up field and make the tackles for a loss.
And Jacoby Brown with that tackle there, he had a great man coverage back in the first half when the Rough Riders went for 2, able to block up that pass for the 2-point conversion. And Jacoby Brown playing very well here for the Cobras in the early going.
Raven Jones, no small man, and Jacoby Brown going low on him, as he should. As Bond now in the shotgun. 3-step drop, back to pass, under pressure. Robert Littlejohn wraps him up and puts him down. Second sack of the day for Robert Littlejohn, and it's going to be second and forever for the Rough Riders. They're going to be back near their own 30-yard line. This drive started out at midfield, so they're going to be... we'll call it 2nd and 30, 3rd and 30 for the Rough Riders.
They were so worried about the left side of the defense. They overloaded there and was able to stop them, but they forgot about Robert Littlejohn and another hanger over on this side, and those two were standing there. Quarterback saw what was going on, spun, and he had a whole lot of Cobras standing there.
The speed of Robert Littlejohn's impressive.
And he's already got 2 sacks today, and you see the enthusiasm and excitement in Littlejohn gain that sack, and that's what the viewers and the fans love to see, that excitement after getting a big sack and a big loss for your team. And Littlejohn has done great here today for the Cobras.
I have a funny feeling he's not done yet.
No, and he's not a thick man. I mean, he's tall, but he must be fast as lightning because he's got some sticks on him.
When you apply that pressure on the defensive end side, great things will happen.
Bond back to pass, rolling out to his right. He's going to take it himself. He'll step up to the 30. He'll fire across the field, almost picked up. It's going to go off the hands and into the hands of a Rough Rider at the 48-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 46. So, again, another one of those tip drills, Coach, that you actually practice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been paying off for the Rough Riders.
You ain't kidding. I'll tell you what, they've had a couple of tip balls where it should have been picked off, and they end up going right in their lap. I mean, he didn't have to move. It landed right in his lap, and I thought he was going to get a first down out of it. So
now looking at we'll see what the marker's going to say here, but 6 yards to go for a first down. It's stuck between halfway 3rd and 4th down. So
yeah, it should be 4th.
And I was surprised Bond threw that at the last second. Looks like he saw an open hole, and Bond got away with it.
Yeah, because he looked like he could have run. There you are, definitely punting it.
Bond now.
Well,
they'll have a snap. It was going to go to the back to his right. It was going to be a direct snap, but it's going to be a false start against the Rough Riders. And just when they take that one step forward, it's 2 steps back for him.
Yeah, at the half, Jim, I noticed that I can't get a number, that they had a new punter in there, and I was watching him, and he was getting some boomers off. They should have been using him from the beginning of the game, and I can't get a number.
I believe it's number 88, but we don't have an 88 on the roster sheet.
Okay.
Arlen Page will check out for the Cobras. Michael Marshall will check in for the Cobras. 10:28 left here on a running clock. 4th and 11 now for the Rough Riders.
I guess we don't have a play clock. So let me tell you what, the officials are letting them take their time.
You're right about that, Coach. Seems like they already should got a delay game penalty at this rate.
Rough Riders now in a punt formation. High snap, be brought down. They'll get it away. It's going to be a high punt. High and short. It'll land just short of the 30-yard line. Take a Rough Rider bounce. Chris Williams right there for the Rough Riders to cover it. And the Cobras will take over 1st and 10 right around their own 31-yard line. 9:58 left here, 3rd quarter. Cobras with a 14-6 lead as they try to put together something offensively to get going here, and it's coming in spurts, so you're seeing a little bit at a time.
Yeah, they're on that punt. I don't understand. They need to coach the special teams up on this because their back wall, once they are behind the line to snap the ball, they should be on the right side, protection side, should be shoulder to shoulder, and then a split for the snap, and then another one there, and they're spread out. And what's happening is they're just running in between them, and that they're causing them to punt the ball quick. So they have got to adjust that, we'll say, punt backfield.
Thompson in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. He'll give it to Calhoun. Calhoun cutting back to the inside, trying to break 1 tackle. May have picked up a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 now for Cleveland.
That's a good job, trying to get a number.
9:48 on a running clock here. Cobras with a 14-6 lead. Their first possession of the second half.
And if you're the Cobras here, you really want to build off each positive yardage play, trying to make it a 3-score game, or a 2-score game, excuse me.
Trip receivers now to the near side. Cobras moving left to right on your devices if you're not watching on Facebook or Twitter. Thompson waiting for the snap. Calhoun to his right. Calhoun looking for the quick pass. Going to just send it out quickly after the 33-yard line and down to the 15-yard line. Abril Taylor with the catch. And they'll give them a little bit of room to work on 3rd down. You start to cut that down, Coach, and it opens up the playbook a little bit.
Yeah, they're marking it now 4, 5. Okay, now we got 4 yards. Depending on where the defensive backs lined up, run a slant. If they got them the inside coverage, that's fine. Run a slant and go, or out and up. Get them leaning a little bit. I'd take a shot right here because they haven't done anything as far as deep. When he got the loose.
And that wasn't a bad slant route. Thompson has got to be more accurate with his throw, not throw it right in the feet of Taylor.
I think he hesitated. Absolutely hesitated. And that threw the timing off.
Thompson now with the read. He'll hand it off to Calhoun. Calhoun will be hitting the backfield, but he might have picked up a half a yard on the play. As Emmett Calhoun, the Cobra veteran, trying to find some room between the tackles.
And we'll see if the Cobras go for it here. Looks like they will.
Now, defensively, that's been their strongest aspect of the game. So if you're Coach Adam Rogerson, you might feel a little comfortable having your defense on the field as opposed to maybe some of your special teams, which will get better as Thompson now going to come back out on the field. Now, remember, he did have the quick kick, so there's an opportunity for that as well again. And they'll do it from the huddle. 7:44 left here in this 3rd quarter.
Do a little bit where they look like he's going to punt and then hesitate and throw the ball.
D'Angelo Thompson will be the receiver to the far side. Twin receivers to the near side. And 1 wing to the left. Calhoun to the left of Thompson. Thompson in the shotgun. He'll take his time. Thompson fires over the middle. Going to be complete. Out to the 45-yard line and down at the 48-yard line. Eddie Edwards on the catch. Another Cobra veteran.
All he did was he ran a little slant, sat down in the hole. He knew exactly where he needed to be. They worked that out and saw it.
Right back to the line now. Same formation. Trip receivers to the right. Thompson going to pass that out to Edwards again. Edwards going to get into Rough Rider territory. He'll be down at the 49-yard line. And they're going to go right back to the line. Up-tempo offense here for the Cobras. 6:54 on a running clock here. Cobras lead the game 14-6.
And I like this Cobra strategy right here. Tire the defense out. Do a little quick 2-minute drill. Get back on the scoreboard.
Twin receivers to the far side. The slot receiver, no covers. The safety will shift over. Thompson going to keep the ball on the read. Get out to the 45 and down near the 40-yard line. They'll give him the 41. No, they'll give him the 40. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cobras. And Cleveland going right back to the line. Up-tempo offense, not giving the Rough Riders an opportunity to substitute at all.
Offensive coordinator, he's winding the clock. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Thompson in the shotgun. Calhoun back there with him. Receivers 2 by 2. Thompson stepping up in the pocket under pressure, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. We don't know who made the sack. It'll be number 25 for the Rough Riders, but
And I want to tell you something, Jim. I don't know who he is, but he's made some magnificent plays this whole game. Unfortunately, we just don't know who he is, and he's doing a heck of a job.
5:55 left here in the third quarter. We talked that the up-tempo offense was doing it, wearing out the defense, not letting them substitute. Sometimes you have that issue, though. Maybe you got to take a step back, maybe, get reset.
Well, that was a big loss for the Cobras. So, like you said, Jim, they want to reset and get back and focus up here, get another positive yardage, positive gain, and move down the field. As for the Rough Riders, they did a great job with that blitzing call there. Both of the defensive ends coming in on Thompson.
2nd and 15 now for the Cobras. Receivers 2 by 2. Thompson 7-yard deep in the shotgun. He'll move Calhoun to his right. 5:13 here as Slap Thompson waits for the snap. 3-step drop, stepping up there under pressure. He's going to find the middle of the field, still looking downfield, and it's going to be thrown into the turf. That ball intended for Keyshawn Bacote, who had the touchdown earlier in the first half.
We've always taught if you're going to scramble, receivers have got to come back to him. He didn't. He's trying to make things happen. That's where mistakes go. You've got to be able to attack the line of scrimmage. If you're rolling, attack it, settle, square up, and get the arm square. He drifted a little bit right and tried to hit a receiver who again, your quarterback scrambling right, you go right, you try to get to him.
And I think he rushed that throw a bit. I think he was worried about the pressure behind him, and that's what forced that bad throw.
Trip receivers to the far side now. Antonio Boyd will be the lone receiver to the near side. Thompson waiting for the snap. 4:28 left here, a little bit high. Thompson will keep the ball. Was on the read. Try to work around E.J. Bibbs, but too many white jerseys, and Thompson will be brought down at the 48-yard line on the Rough Rider side of the field. And in back-to-back plays, things kind of stalling out for the Cleveland offense.
Well, definitely both offensive coordinators got a lot of work this week coming up because their defenses aren't playing bad, but they have no offense going on. Again, second game, preview last week, still counted, but again, they got to get better. They got to start clicking.
3:48 left here in this third quarter. And Savon Gibson will make his way onto the field for the Cobras. DeVere Glenn, that will be the defensive end to the far side. There's a little bit of confusion on the personnel. Terrell Lively will make his way onto the field for Cleveland. And we're going to have a delay of game. Or an illegal substitution, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
As players were kind of hesitant. They're counting them up now, but
yeah, I counted 12.
So not such a horrible mistake there as you're just moving back 5 yards on the punt, but as the way the kicking game has gone today, that's where the concern comes.
And it looks like the Cobras are just struggling to communicate on special teams in general. That's what caused that penalty there. They got to learn throughout the season to communicate better, to get the players on and off the field during a special teams play.
It's hard too, and I'll tell you why. When you're coaching here, a lot of guys don't want to go back out on special teams, so you have to designate a coach, which we did, always have the special teams and always had his backups ready.
I believe Harlan Page is now going to be the punter. He was responsible for the first Cleveland touchdown in the first quarter. Picking up a fumble, going 46 yards. Low snap on the ground, but he's going to be able to recover it, and a good high kick by the Cobras down to the 36-yard line. It'll take a Cobra roll down to the 30-yard line, and it'll be downed by Sam Bullock. And finally, the Cobras get a well-executed punt, courtesy of Harlan Page.
Snap, punt. There was no hesitation. I also noticed that he was much further back than where they were setting the rest of the punters. The punters looked like they were a little close to the line. So.
Yeah, and I believe we'd always like to go 12, 13 yards.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, it looks like the snap kind of still hit the ground, skimmed a little bit, able to recover well. But
we always had a good long snapper.
Well, I tell you, long snappers are hard to find.
Yeah, I had a good one. Occasionally.
It's always usually a quarterback or a backup quarterback or a receiver.
Yeah, the long snapper for the Cobras, Steve Anthony, just kind of like skimmed it across the turf for that punt there.
Fortunately, it was a good spiral. He was able to scoop it from the bottom.
There's nothing wrong with that, skimming it back like that, as long as it gets there, because that football's oval, and it'll make some crazy rolls.
2:26 left here, third quarter. Cleveland with the 14-6 lead over Mahoning Valley. Rough Riders taking over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. On now in a shotgun, one running back to each side. You have twin receivers to the far side, moving right to left on your devices. You have Zaire Graham be the receiver to the near side. On now. We'll send one running back for a trips formation to the far side. Bond now firing quickly out in the middle. Almost picked off, but caught. And it's going to be brought out to the 38-yard line. Near the 40, we'll see where they spot it. And if I'm not mistaken, that looked like Jacoby Brown took a chance on that interception, just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and then I'm not sure which defensive back took a ride. He jumped on the back of that bull, and he took him for a ride, so.
Well, and you hope for some help from your friends.
Yeah, in that instance, I think he had him by 100 pounds.
You know, and situations like that, though, you get there, and, you know, it's just too late at that point.
Yeah,
you know,
and he had a head of steam, and, of course, the DB just caught him, and he just didn't have enough anchor, we'll say, behind him.
2nd and 2 now for the Rough Riders. Have the ball at their own 38-yard line. One receiver to each side, of a wing to the right, 2 running backs to each hip of Bond. On out with the handoff, trying to find room out to the left side. And they'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a yard on that. And that was going to be Zaire Graham on the carry.
And Graham did a good job of trying to use his shoulder to get some extra yardage there, but just great tackling from the Cobras to stop him in his tracks.
So 3rd and 1 for the Rough Riders. And this is where they've struggled, either with penalties or plays for loss.
This is why you get underneath center. In this offense, you get under center, and all you do is how we used to do it. Just slap his rear end, and that center knew that everybody else don't move. Silent count, and he can get that. We've had Withrow run a few.
Under a minute here left in this third quarter. Cleveland with a 14-6 lead. One receiver to each side. On in the shotgun. Cobra showing pressure. Bond rolling out to his right, looking downfield. And he's going to pick up the first down past the 45, reaching near midfield, and he'll go down at the midfield stripe. And that's going to be Kev Fortson, and it will finally bring him down, and that will be a Rough Riders first down.
I'll tell you what, this young man has got good speed, good size. You could see he is an athlete and a football player. He really does a great job. The only thing that I don't like is he carries that ball way out like a loaf of bread, and someone's going to get it, because I would notice that as a defensive player. And when he threw that arm out, I'm either beating his arm up or I'm going to attack that football.
Yeah, you're right about that, Coach. He's got to cuff that up into his chest, and he really turned on the jets to beat the defensive back, Michael Marshall.
Bond with the handoff past midfield down to the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for the Rough Riders. Actually, they'll give them the 46-yard line, so 2nd and 6. I'll stop the clock here as we reach the end of the third quarter here in Lakewood. Cleveland Cobras lead by a score of 14-6 over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. We're going to step aside for a timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia1 Network. We're back after this. Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org. Blah, blah, blah. "15 minutes up here on the board. Final frame here in Lakewood. Cleveland with a 14-6 lead over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Will switch sides of the field. Cleveland will move right to left now. Rough Riders left to right.
You know, we were talking about running the ball and holding it out like a loaf of bread. Well, I used to teach the running backs on the offense is do the tiki barber. Tip of the ball is underneath your chin. You set it between on your breastplate so the tip is under your chin and shooting at your feet. And then you cross over with the other arm before you get hit, and that ball ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
And you'd be surprised how many times quarterbacks get strip sacked by just holding the football out in near space. It happens more times than you think, especially in the NFL.
Yeah, because quarterbacks should be getting it, and it should be right in the center of them, both hands on it, and close to them with their elbows bent, because then you start putting that thing out there, it's a swat and go. Even when you're setting up, you've got to keep that in.
2nd and 6 now for the Rough Riders at the Cobra 46-yard line as we get underway here in the fourth quarter. Bond in a shotgun, one running back to each side. He'll send one in motion from right to left. Bond now running out to the left side, trying to find room, trying to get to the outside, going to beat DeVere Glenn, and he'll go out of bounds past the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. They'll say no, he went out at the 41-yard line. Okay, we'll give him that. As the officials, no, they'll go back to the 40 now. It's like that guy in The Price is Right. You go up there and then down a little bit.
Well, it's just left and right foot. That's all. I mean, it's
so it'll be 1st and 10 for
depending on your stride, I guess. It could be 40, 41, 39.
1st and 10 now for the Rough Riders at the Cobra 40-yard line. We'll get it right.
That's all right. Well, we have to wait for them.
14-6 is the Cleveland Cobra lead.
So you can hear the Cobra sideline.
Somewhat animated there, Jared, I would say.
There you go.
They have to figure out something to stop Bond.
Bond now with the handoff on the counter. And nowhere to go.
You know, Jim, you know what they need to run, Jim? They need to run 44 scissors. I'm telling you, everybody scrapes out there. They got to hand that thing coming back down this way. If they run more counters, but you got to have one guy going right, another guy going left. I mean, that's crossfire, whatever. Run that, but it's got to be quick. It's just too much delay.
Well, they're going to say actually he went out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So 2nd and 12 for the Rough Riders. 13:45 on a running clock here in the fourth quarter. Week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. We were hoping to get you some scores from around the league, but we don't see anything so far. Don't be shy, folks. Go ahead and send them scores in. We'll be well appreciative. So Bond now in the shotgun, one running back to his left, 3 receivers to the near side. Bond now stepping up. They're under pressure, and he's going to be brought down at the 49-yard line on the Rough Riders side of the field. They'll actually give him the 50. So another loss of 5. And Cleveland's defense has stood up all game long. It's been a tough way to go for Frank Bond.
Yeah, he's struggling a bit. There's no doubt. That was Andy. It looked like Andy Cohn.
Andy Cohn, the Cleveland veteran. As we have a player down for the Rough Riders, going to take a knee. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, I believe that was number 1. Kyrie Dennis was limping on the sideline. Not sure what he did on his route, if he cut too hard. And you see that a lot nowadays with wide receivers on turf especially. They try to do a route, and they're not even being covered that hard, and they injure themselves.
Well, and I think a lot of guys have talked about in the NFL is playing on the turf. They actually are lobbying to go back to grass in the NFL. So we don't know if there's something to that or.
And you know what's funny is back in the day, they thought that the turf was going to protect their legs and knees more. But they found out later on after they started doing all this, they saved a ton of money because they didn't have to worry about the fields and being muddy and this. But the problem with this is, and we've all played on it or coached on it, man, when you step, that foot stays right where it's at. So you get a lot of knee injuries, a lot of ankle injuries, and then coming down on this, this stuff's pretty cushioned with the ground tires in it, but you're still hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, you talk about non-contact injuries, and we have seen quite a bit of those, and this is what they believe now is contributing to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're bigger, stronger, faster, but, bigger bodies and with the weightlifting and everything, but it's all about the tendons and joints. You can't build them up. It's impossible. So you're putting these bigger bodies, and now you're stepping on this thing. You got nothing to give but your joints.
And honestly, unless you live in Seattle, I don't think you really need turf everywhere, especially in Ohio.
12:34 here on a running clock. Back to action here. We have trip receivers to the near side. Bond in the shotgun. It'll be third in an eternity from the Cobras 49-yard line. Bond now rolling out to his right, looking downfield. Stepping up, going to fire a wobbly pass towards the sideline, and it's going to be thrown out of bounds. That'll bring up fourth down for the Rough Riders. There is a flag on the play. There are 3 flags, so the officials obviously have either agreed on something or we have multiple violations as we look to our referee for some clarification.
They're by the line of scrimmage, so maybe a hold.
So we're going to have
procedure.
An illegal procedure against Mahoning Valley, a hold against the Rough Riders. So either way, that's going to be a 10-yard penalty. And it will be fourth and even longer now for the Rough Riders. They'll be well back on their own side of the field.
They're better off just, well, I guess they're going to decline it?
Yeah, they're going to decline the penalties and elect for fourth down.
Yep.
So
okay.
Not a bad decision.
I don't know. My opinion, I might have taken a chance with that and moved them back and told the defense, pin your ears back, boys. Let's go get him.
Well, while we have the opportunity, we want to congratulate Cleveland Cobras athletic trainer Beth Betancourt. She is a grandmother again this week. A new baby girl, so we want to congratulate her on the addition to the family. She tries to keep all these guys upright. And let me tell you, this can be a I don't want to use the word violent, but it's a high collision level of football.
It is violent. It is. We've seen it. I mean, they go out there, they want to win.
So we'll see how many miracles she can do as the Rough Riders will line up in punt formation. Good snap, and it'll be off this time, and it'll go to the left side, land right around the 27-yard line. It'll take a roll. Going to be touched by a Cobra and picked up by a Rough Rider. It's going to be advanced to the 20, 10, 15, touchdown, Mahoning Valley Rough Riders, but I don't know if you can advance a muffed punt, Coach.
But did
it ever touch the ground?
It never touched the ground, so I don't know.
We'll see what the call is by the official.
I'm not sure. They're discussing it. I don't know if they're giving it to him on the 30.
So if this is a muff punt, I don't believe they're going to be able to advance it, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's 30. They're marking it on 30, Jim.
Okay, so it will be a muffed punt. Cleveland.
The Cobras escape what could have been a terrible touchdown for the Rough Riders, but I don't even know why you would touch that in that situation anyways. Just let the ball roll.
Run. Poison. Get away from it. Get out of the way.
11:06 left here on a running clock. Cobra's defense back on the field. Rough Riders will have the ball in Cobra territory, 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Here as the lights are now on in the stadium, sun getting ready to go down. As we saw the strawberry moon, is that what you called it there, Coach?
No, that was on Mr. Ferris.
Is that what they call it?
Strawberry.
Okay.
Strawberry moon, Mr. Ferris? He says yes.
So between barbecue and strawberries.
We definitely got to find a milkshake right now.
We need our own concession stand. This is what happens when you don't eat dinner before the games.
This is Cleveland. There's food up here. Bond back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, going to fire out to his left, looking downfield, one-on-one. They're going to be picked off by the Cobras at the 5-yard line. Can't get a number on that as they're. And they're going to say, indeed, it is Cleveland Cobras ball. Look who the corner was to the far side. One-on-one out there. Bond just launched it up.
Yeah, and he didn't get enough behind it because it fell short. He throws it to the back of the end zone. He's got it.
I believe that's going to be Jacoby Brown on the interception. If not, he's just a really happy defensive back.
I think that was number 12, Kev
Forson. Okay.
And that was great for him to cut inside to force that interception. And that's great for the Cobras after that month punt to get back on the offensive side and try to make it a 2-score advantage.
And really, you want to get your defense off the field. They've been on there a long time.
Yeah, you want to have your defense rest up and put your foot on the gas pedal offensively. And second turnover for the Rough Riders.
Now,
and the Cobras defense doing a great job tonight.
Now you pin your ears back. You tell them ends, you got to come in there and you got to wrap up, try to get a safety here.
1st and 10 now at the 5-yard line, 10:25 left here in this game. Cobras with 95 yards to go to the end zone. Thompson in the shotgun. His feet will be placed right at the goal line. There'll be a handoff to Emmett Calhoun. He'll be brought down in the backfield, but his momentum will bring him out. Won't be a safety there. And it will bring up second down for the Cobras.
Got him on about the 3. From our angle, it looks like the 3. 2 or 3.
Yeah, they'll give him forward progress there. And good defensively by the Rough Riders on the rush.
Yeah, and I think Coach is right. It's going to be second down now, and call it 12 from the 3-yard line.
Got to be very careful here.
Cobras now with twin receivers to the far side, twin receivers to the near side. Thompson in the shotgun, now in the end zone, waiting for the snap. He'll hand off, try to get some room to work up front, get maybe back out to the 5-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Cobras. And Cobras playing very conservatively at this point.
Yeah, because the slot receiver on our side was not covered. I'll tell you what, if even him just pick and throw it, he could have possibly been still running. It would have been one-on-one.
9:13 left here. 9:13 left here in the fourth quarter.
And if the Cobras here, do you just go with another run, or you try to get a quick slant, get some yards, and get the first down?
Depends on the defense. Right now,
looks like they're playing zone coverage.
You're just going to end up having to get what you get. I think a swing out of the backfield, maybe.
Cobras twins receivers to the far side. Thompson back to pass, going to fire out to his right. It's going to be caught at the 16-yard line. That should be enough for a Cleveland first down.
First down. Yeah, all he did, the inside receiver, all he did was run. He got the sticks, and then he curled in and sat down.
That was a great job
Mr. Edwards.
That was a great job by Eddie Bing Edwards to get the catch there in the first down for the Cobras.
And they go into that slant route.
Yeah, he slants, the DB bails, and then he sits down. He knew exactly where he had to go for a first down. He did an outstanding job.
Twin receivers to the far side now. Have one single receiver to the near side. Thompson out with the handoff to take it out. Thompson's going to pull the ball, keep it himself out past the 25, down at the 26-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 6. It'll be now 3rd and 4 for the Cobras.
What the woo was you heard from the crowd was he pulled it, and as he pulled it, the running back got absolutely drilled in the backfield.
Yeah, he got drilled on the right side on the one knee, and he's lucky he's okay. That's a tough hit to take.
Well, they're moving all back 1 yard, so it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Cobras. 7:41 left here in this game. Cleveland trying to run the clock down, get in the end zone one more time. They'll go 4 wide receivers, 2 by 2. Thompson now in the shotgun. One high safety for the Rough Riders. Quick pass out to the outside, and tackle almost made at the 25. He'll break loose. That was going to be Keyshawn Bacote, who's going to be brought down in the backfield for a loss.
And it's hard to see from up here in the booth, but looked like a possible face mask from the Rough Riders. I mean, it's so hard with 3 people tackling you at once to see.
They actually had, if they would have run to get the first down, the same pattern where it was kind of a slanted sat down. Only if he didn't even have to do that, he could have went straight up the field and sat down. He'd have got the first down because I don't know why they threw it back. It was a bad call, bad play.
TJ Johnson now to the left of Thompson. Receivers 2 by 2. 2nd and 8. Thompson back to pass, looking out to his left, going to step up in the pocket, going to fire over the middle of the field. But Keyshawn Bacote's going to fall down, couldn't get to the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'll tell you what, though, he doesn't fall down. He's got him wide open coming across the middle.
I don't think there's any question at this point. You got to punt the ball away, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
6:37 left here in the game, and you are kind of a razor-thin lead here. One mistake, and the Rough Riders are right back in this.
They're going to bring the big boy Harlan Page to punt it away again.
He did a good job the last time, high and got some distance.
Yeah, just make sure we got to get that snap because if he bobbles, this could be deadly.
Steve Anthony, the long snapper for the Cleveland Cobras punt team. They'll have Deion Carr and Sam Bullock as the guards to his left and right. Steve Anthony's a wide receiver, so even though you're not allowed to touch the center, it's nice to have those guards right next to you step down.
Yeah, but you could create a little havoc in the middle, too, doing that.
Harlan Page now back at the 15-yard line. Good snap. He'll get this one away. A good punt. You'll have to backpedal for this. It'll land at the 43-yard line. It'll be picked up at the 37 and brought down at the 36-yard line. Marcus Brown on the return, nowhere to go. And Harlan Page doing a great job flipping sides of the field for the Cobras.
That's a great job. I'll tell you what, he got that ball. I like it. Big kid. Catch the ball, get it out of there. And there is no hesitation getting some good snaps now. Outstanding job there.
First and 10 now for the Rough Riders. 5:31 left here in this game. They'll place the ball at the 35-yard line. 65 yards to go for Mahoning Valley. They're looking to tie this game up.
Now I'm telling my ends, keep that quarterback with inside, come upfield, kind of square in, and I'd have a linebacker as a spy and say because he's the one that's doing everything, so he's going to do the most damage. So you got to have a spy in the center of that field, so when he goes left, you're going right, his left.
Anthony Neal and Robert Littlejohn will be the defensive ends for the Cobras. And you're right, Coach, can't let him get too deep into the backfield as Bond will line up in the shotgun. He'll have Raven Jones to his left, 3 receivers to the far side. Bond now taking the ball out to the left side, looking to get upfield. He'll get past the 35, out to the 40, 45, and he'll go out of bounds near the midfield stripe. That should be a first down as we have a little extracurricular activity going there. Robert Littlejohn and Andy Code going to try to get him out of there, but flags on the play. I don't know if these are going to be offsetting or not.
Again, what are you thinking? Okay, you made a beautiful block. He turned his hips, sealed him inside. Let him go. What's he going to do, hurt you? So guess what? Now it could cost you 15 yards going the other way on a great run. So I would say offsetting.
So dead ball foul, personal foul against the Rough Riders, and that's not going to be offsetting.
Nope.
So Mahoning Valley will be set back 15 yards. That will not make their task any easier.
That's just not thinking. That's just letting your emotions get to you, and you can't do that playing football.
And if you're Frank Bond, you're running all over the field, probably has over 200 yards of rushing, if not close to it, and you did all that work for nothing.
Yeah, it's just silly. Can't do that.
5:23 left here in this game, and again, Rough Riders again in a eternity situation as far as down and distance. 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Mahoning Valley. That has been the trend of the day, as I believe the Cobras maybe taking a timeout.
I believe Jesse walked out onto the field to call that timeout, and I don't blame him, and I know what he's telling him. Don't mess up. Don't let your emotions get to you. Shut up and play the game, and I believe that's what he did because the whole team's coming out there. Don't let it get out of hand.
Yeah, certainly in a close game like this, you don't want to put yourself in a position that you didn't have to, really, because of just temperament.
Yeah, you know what? Play the game. Don't let your emotions get in there. Do your job, and that's it. And I always say, if someone's going to take a swipe at you, let them. What are they going to do, hurt you?
Well, I always say thank you for 15 yards.
Yeah, and my rule was always through school is when somebody says something to you, wink at them and blow them a kiss. I guarantee you they're going to get 15 yards.
First of all, Coach, that was a little weird. But
no, but it worked. It absolutely worked.
I don't know, Jared. Coming from the ice, we spent 9 months, with this,
I don't
and all you got was a 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, I don't think the hockey players are going to wink and kiss at someone.
You blow them a kiss, believe me, it was working many a times.
Give them a special sign language, but other than that, I don't think they're going to do anything else.
The John Padulo treatment. Former Youngstown Phantom for those who aren't up to date here.
Now it works because what it does is it ticks them off because they're expecting retaliation. You do that, and they go after you, and it's 15 yards.
I don't know. I think of Strathman Whitelaw, somebody.
Right.
You get away with it.
They'll go for it, especially Chase Patilla, too.
Yes.
You're able to do that in hockey. You can't fight out here.
And it's just a 2-minute timeout. You go sit down, you think about your indiscretions, and then you get free.
And then you
do
it again
about it.
5:23 left here as we talk about the USHL's 2023 Clark Cup champions, the Youngstown Phantoms. You heard all that action right here on Western Reserve Radio. And Dave, Jared, and I, and Bob, we are worn out from that season. That was a long season as the Rough Riders will come out 3 receivers to the far side. Bond now rolling out to his left, looking downfield, under pressure. He's going to be brought down in the backfield, down at the 26-yard line. That'll be a loss of 4. And I believe this time it's going to be Chris Frazier with the sack. He had one 2 weeks ago against the West Virginia Leviathan, and he gets another one tonight, I believe. Oh, I could be wrong. I believe that was not number 2. I'm sorry. Is it number 9? These numbers are hard to see.
12.
Well, it looked like it was Frazier because he was so pumped up about the defensive stop,
so,
but
nonetheless,
it was one of them.
Yeah,
there was some guy with a 2 on it.
And I will say that the Cobras have been playing team defense. Everybody's getting to the ball. Sometimes it really is hard to call this.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a good thing to see, but
so far early in this Cobra season, they definitely are communicating better on the defensive side than the offensive side of the ball.
Receivers 2 by 2 now for the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Bond now in the shotgun, 4:20 on a running clock. Bond 3-step drop, stepping up in the pocket, has some room to run, trying to direct traffic downfield. He's got a man open, and it's going to be caught at the 35, and it's going to be taken away, and it's going to be on the ground. Ball's loose. Officials in there trying to find it. Rough Riders say they have it, and they're going to, and indeed they do. So that's going to be a pickup down to the 30-yard line. Call it a fumble or a reception. They'll mark the ball at the 29-yard line in Cobra territory. Bond had a ton of time there.
I don't know, Jim. I
thought that could have been an incompletion because you had to have control in 2 or 3 steps leading in on your rush there. So that possibly could have been an incompletion.
I agree with you. Dave, could you look at that screen and we could radio?
You want to run back?
Do that.
Want to run the replay back there, Dave?
Because that was a bang play.
So 3:35 left here in this game. Rough Riders will take a timeout here, and we're going to step aside for a quick break, catch our breath. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia1 Network. We're back after this. Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org. .333 left here, fourth quarter. Mahoning Valley Rough Riders with a big play. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 at the Cobras' 29-yard line. Cobras lead 14-6. Mahoning Valley within striking distance now, as the Cobras look to go 2-0 on this very early season. This will be the first tri-point game of the season for them. However, getting the win 2 weeks ago against the West Virginia Leviathan over at Walsh University in Canton. Walsh University doing a great job with their new stadium over there. A very beautiful facility. Division II football for the Cavaliers. As Bond now will have 3 receivers to the near side. Bond now with a running back to his right. He'll roll around to the right. Trying to throw it back. Had a man open, overthrew him. And it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, that's what they got to do. They bottled him in. He had nowhere to go. Stayed in their lanes, kept him inside, and therefore let the defensive backs take over from there. And that was a good job. They put heat, and he couldn't see where the receiver was, and hence he overthrew it.
This could be a good test for the Cobras defense here. This is really the first time all game that the Rough Riders have been close to red zone territory, and this will be a real challenge for their defense.
Well, just keep heat on that quarterback, because his throws, other than a couple of deep ones, it seems like his slants and stuff, I don't know, he just can't get it there. So get heat on him, but box him in.
3:27 left here in the game. Bond in the shotgun, 1 running back to his right, 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Bond rolling out to his right. Looks like he wants to run. He'll find a lane, get out to the 25, out to the 20-yard line, 15, and be out close near to the 10-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. And they'll say he went out at the 12-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Rough Riders. with 3:20 left here in this game. And the Rough Riders probably with their best drive of the evening so far.
Again, good job on the outside. I tell you what, they sealed the Cobras in on the right side, and that's why he was able to roll out and do what he's got to do. So the offensive line has done a nice job on this drive.
And Zier Graham had a really good block on that right side.
On now in the backfield. He'll have one running back to his left, one to his right. Twin receivers to the near side, one single receiver to the far side. On with the handoff, trying to get to the outside. He'll make it to the 10-yard line, inside the 10. And down near the 5-yard line. We'll see where they mark it out of bounds. And he'll say he went out near the 7-yard line. So they can still get a first down inside the 3 with 2:59 here on a running clock. Cobras 14, Mahoning Valley Rough Riders 6. Critical drive for the Rough Riders. Best they can do now is tie this game as we approach the 2.5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter of week 1. Bond now will bring the Rough Riders to the line. Twin receivers to the near side, one to the far side. Bond now in a max protection offense, one running back to each side. Mike Bond now with the read, trying to bring it off the left side, makes a move, trying to get to the outside, but he'll be brought down in the backfield for a loss, at least of a couple yards.
I was just pointing to Dave saying he's going to go left. They overlooked, because of the formation, they slid down to the right side of the offense. There was one hanger over there, and I'll tell you what, I knew they were going to go left. They were going to fake right, go left with the quarterback keep, who made that tackle, Jim?
Chris Frazier, number 2 for the Cobras.
Okay, he came up because they had sealed off Little John, and somebody come up on that outside and was one-on-one. He did an outstanding job on that tackle. I knew he was going that way. The defense gave him that, but they did an outstanding job on that side and sealed him up. So
the Rough Riders trying to eat this clock up, 1:28 as it moves, and we're going to have a timeout, I believe. Not sure who took it, as we can't see here.
I believe the Rough Riders took the timeout.
Okay, so we'll keep it right here. 1:24 left here in this game. Cobras with a 14-6 lead. The Rough Riders really making a good showing for themselves today, playing a physical, fast game. Again, mistakes marring them offensively with the penalties and the turnovers.
yeah, they did it. They straightened it out at halftime. I'll give them that. They look a lot better offensively with their drives and stuff and what they did up front. So their talk offensive at halftime they've improved. They still got to get a lot better, but they're doing a good job. But again, they're taking what the Cobras will give them.
.24 left here in the timeout. Next week we'll be right back here in Lakewood as the Cobras will host the Steel City Bobcats. Bobcats coming, this will be their first year in the Tri-Point Football League. Tri-Point in their second season of play. A lot of good things going on for Tri-Point.
Well, this is we got second and
second and 1 for the first down here. Bond now in a shotgun, one running back to his right. Trip receivers to the near side. As Bond now rolling out to his right, on the move, stepping up, fires over the middle, has a receiver open. It's going to be knocked away in the secondary, and it's going to be Chris Frazier again with the big play.
He threw into triple coverage, and it looked like that the receiver was going to come down with that, because I'll tell you what, he leaped, and it was above everybody. But there was some good defensive backs got in there and pulling hands and swatting at balls, so that was a good job.
I think the intended receiver there was number 11, Carl Dale.
1:18 left here in this game. Rough Riders.
I believe that was an old Green Bay Packer, Carol Dale, at one time, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's going to be fourth down for Mahoning Valley. Unfortunately, our markers turn and go halfway, and so Indeed, it will be 4th down for the Rough Riders of twin receivers to the near side. Ball now in a shotgun. They'll have a tight end, slot to the right. One single receiver to the far side. Bond, 3-step drop, firing out of the corner of the end zone, and it's going to be knocked away by the Cobras. 2 defenders went up for it, and they may have cost each other the interception, but a great play and a turnover on downs.
It's a great play.
And that I don't understand why Bond threw that in double coverage, especially playing man, and just not a great throw by Bond.
Well, I'm thinking that his receiver could probably out-jump him, but he didn't. And ball was there, but there was no way with double coverage you were going to get that.
Yeah, safety shifting over and getting the coverage for the Cobras, and they will take over 1st and 10.
Now, this should just be a couple of knees because they can't well, I don't know how many timeouts they got, but
1:12 left here in this game. Cobras have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line. Cobras looking to close this one out in a close one. 14-6 is your score. Thompson now in the shotgun. They go off Johnson to his right. Receivers 2 by 2. Thompson with the handoff, going to find room up the middle, past the 15. And he'll be knocked backwards. As forward progress will give him the 16-yard line. Pick up a 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
And the Rough Riders took a timeout, so I believe they have 1 left. And they're going to keep as much clock as they can here. But if you're the Cobras, you should be able to run out the clock. Maybe need to get 1 first down to end this.
Well, if they have one timeout left, they should be able to run the. It's going to be close. Coach Pringle out there taking that timeout. I don't know if you noticed that, Jim.
Dave Pringle, the former Western Reserve Scourge member.
What a great guy too.
Yeah.
He was a player, and he you know what? Never heard him complain.
Played in no, not at all. Great
Never.
teammate, and played in the 2017 season with the Scourge. Also played the 2015 season, in which they won the OFL championship there in Girard at Arrowhead Stadium. Fun to be had by all. It's hard to think, Coach. It's been 8 years.
How about that?
8 years, and Dave was kind enough to bring his contraption in to clean my ring today. So, although
you're waiting for the other one.
Well, here's the problem. I can't get that ring on so easily anymore. So
see, mine's the opposite. I lost weight and it keeps falling off.
I didn't say it was a weight gain, Coach. I was thinking
why
maybe
are you suing things, Coach?
Well,
thanks,
you said
Jared.
it was too, but you said it was too tight. What's that mean?
Well, I think it's been broken fingers. Things don't heal right.
His fingers could have grown.
That's a long walk home, Coach. Be nice. Thompson in the shotgun. Receivers 2 by 2. And we're gonna have some movement up front. And they're gonna say encroachment against the Rough Riders. That should be enough. Well, it won't be enough for a first down, but it'll be a little bit closer. Probably don't have to change the play, Coach, if you're 5 yards closer to that marker. 1:06 left here in this first quarter, week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. The Cobras trying to close this one out. Thompson in the shotgun. He'll have one running back to his right, T.J. Johnson. Thompson, pump fake, looking downfield, going to be brought down in the backfield. And not sure what the call was supposed to be on that, but that's a big risk to take on such a short field in a close game.
He was going to throw the ball. I mean, I did.
Just under a minute left here in the fourth quarter, and wow.
I know it's the first week, gentlemen, but both quarterbacks have not made good, quick decisions tonight, and that was one of them right there.
Now, I know, Jim, you'll back me on this one, but I know your head coach sometimes made some bonehead calls, but that one, that would not have been a good one. That's just, yay. Take the ball, hold it, and run. I don't even like handing the ball off.
58 seconds left here in this one. As another timeout is taken. Rough
So
Riders.
was that their last? I'm sorry, Jim. Was that their last? Do we even know how many timeouts?
That was the Rough Riders' last time out.
Let's say lost count there, but
okay. So
They
third
don't
down.
have any more, so they can pretty much run out the clock.
that should happen.
So they'll need 2 plays for that. I don't know. They're going to need 2 plays for that. It's going to be 3rd and 7, I believe, from this angle.
Hold
Thompson now into shotgun. He'll be in an empty formation now. 3 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Thompson looking for the open field. Looking down there. Has a guy open and couldn't hit him at the 40-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down. He was looking for T.J. Johnson. And if they had connected, that would have been 6 for the Cobras. However, overthrows them. And again, both quarterbacks tonight have really shown the arm strength, but it's kind of cost them.
A little too much strength.
Well, the problem is now it's 4th down. You got to punt, and the clock stopped. Just run the ball.
53 seconds left here in this game. Harlan Page coming in to punt this one away for the Cobras. They were looking for the big play and couldn't get it. They lead 14-6.
Get it out of there.
So, big names to look at right now will be long snapper Steve Anthony and punter Harlan Page. They're going to need a good snap and a good kick. Steve Anthony, the wide receiver, also the long snapper for the Cleveland Cobras. 53 seconds left here in this game, as the Rough Riders will overload their left side. Decent snap. They'll get it away. And Harlan Page with a nice punt.
Absolutely, boom.
It'll be fielded at the 40-yard line. Drop picked up again by the Rough Riders. They'll bring it out to the 45-yard line and brought down at the 47. That's where the Rough Riders will take over with 42 seconds left in this game and no timeouts. And there's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty on the Rough Riders. Talk about penalties and huge mistakes.
Wow.
And with 42 seconds left, it'll take 2 knees, coach, and that will hopefully end it tonight for the Cobras.
Yeah,
They'll go 1-0 in the league.
Yeah, because whether it's running in or roughing, it's still 5 yards, and they had only 3 to go or 4 to go. So that should be now they're running it back.
Yeah, not real sure what's going on here, but great snap, great kick. As the officials now mark off the penalty, and indeed that will be enough for a Cleveland Cobras first down, and that should
15.
wrap this one up.
Yep.
They'll get out of week 1 with what looks like a 14-6 win over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Rough Riders coming in and making a good showing for themselves. They make the trip from where we came from, Youngstown. And victory formation for the Cobras as Dave Thompson will take the knee. With 38 seconds left here in this game. Mike Griffin and crew can be proud of the effort tonight. They will come up short. They will go 0-1 in league play. They'll be 0-2 overall this season. 20 seconds left here officially as Dave Thompson will take his time. And the Cobras will get the 8-point win over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. And it is over as the clock runs down 2 zeros here in Lakewood. The Cleveland Cobras start off the 2023 Tri-Point Football League season with a 14-6 win over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll give you a scoring recap. We'll hit on a couple of more sponsors, and we'll wrap it up for you from here at Garfield Stadium in Lakewood. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on the iMedia1 Network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Back here in Lakewood one last time as we wrap it up here in week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League. The Cleveland Cobras with a 14-6 win over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders. Again, we want to thank some of our sponsors here for the Cleveland Cobras, including Smoky Seafood Barbecue. Sexy, sophisticated, and savory. 216-632-1506. Give them a call. 216-632-1506. Also want to thank Gibson Elite Athletics. GibsonEliteAthletics.com. Give them a call for more information. Also, we want to thank Erica Marie Financials for bookkeeping services and more. They are now accepting clients. Go to ericamariefinancials.com or call 330-785-5432. And, of course, I want to thank all of our sponsors here on Western Reserve Radio, including the Gessler Propane Studio. So, with that, we take a look at the scoring recap here. No scoring in the second half, but first and second quarter, we're kind of fun here in week 1 as Harlan Page would return a 46-yard fumble for a touchdown. That would be on a Robert Littlejohn sack and strip. That would put the Cleveland Cobras up by a score of 7-0. In the second quarter, Keyshawn Bacote would get a 9-yard reception from Dave Slap Thompson to put the Cobras up by a score of 14-0. And the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders, they would get on the board on a block punt. They would take it 55 yards to the end zone. They would not convert on the extra point. And that's where our score would remain. From there on in, the Cobras get the 14-6 win. And, Coach, we talked about first week mistakes, maybe some jitters, maybe just, some live fire execution. We saw that tonight, but on both sides of the ball, we saw some great athletes tonight. They did a really good job with the effort, but they've got to clean up the execution a little bit.
Well, right off the bat, they have to clean up their special teams. Their special teams did not play well tonight, and that I believe that hurt them. But, again, mistakes, simple things, that'll come. The jitters, you're finally getting into the season, and, it'll work itself out. They'll get better. We don't know who was not here injury-wise and stuff, so they'll be fine. They'll get better, and everything will do real well with them. Absolutely, both teams.
And for Jared, again, we talked about the changeover in rosters. You and I have seen that, and maybe that's a part of it too, is just a lot of players here new to the offense. Again, some familiar faces from 2022, but it's just going to take a little bit of time to get those gears running like a well-oiled clock.
Yeah, they got to get used to playing together. They got to get one wound with one another, get used to the offense, like you said, Jim, and get that chemistry building. And it all starts here in week 1, and we'll see that chemistry build as the season goes on. And like Coach said, they'll improve in all aspects, especially with special teams and their offense.
Yeah, and like we used to tell Coach Noble, hey, you know what, the defense is ahead of the offense all the time.
Always.
We know that. Yep. There's not as much I guess I don't want to say execution, but there's not as much. What would you call it, Coach? Just
well, you know, with
fine mechanics.
Yes, I mean
so to
it's
speak.
a little bit different. I mean, and we laugh about it when we say get quarterback, but again, defensive backs have to work together. But your defensive line and linebackers, your main goal is to get after the quarterback, get after the running back, so you read your keys. Offensively, it's a little bit more. It's a little different because your offensive line's got to make blocking calls. Your back's got to learn to step up. And obviously their timing was off. So both teams will get better. It's just more practice. They have to practice more, and that's what makes you perfect.
For next week, the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders will take on the Ohio Gladiators. That game will be played at Walsh University in Canton. And for us, it will be the Steel City Bobcats making their way to Cleveland, and a nice Cleveland-Pittsburgh matchup here in Week 2, 6:50 airtime, 7 o'clock kickoff here on Western Reserve Radio. So for the coach, Bob Gessler, for Jared Minecourt, making his way from the ice to the gridiron, and for Dave Ferris, I am Jim Craven. Thanks for joining us again here on Western Reserve Radio. Make sure you tune in this week on Tuesday for By All Means with Mark Means from 5 to 6 on Tuesday. Saturday mornings, it's Saturday Morning Sports Page with Pat Lucia and Dave Clark. Again, thanks for joining us tonight here in Week 1 of the Tri-Point Football League, and we hope to hear and see you next week here, Saturday, in Lakewood. Have a good night, everybody.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio, and we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.